Alrighty. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, is this thing on? Test, mic check. What's going on, people? What's up? Can you all see me? Most importantly, and I stress this as the most important part, no matter what calendar year you're in, can you all hear me? What's going on, people? What's up? Alright, I already did the due diligence to drag the chat over to this side of the screen. So, we got nothing getting in our way. I'm seeing that the audio is indeed matched in the video. Everything is looking smooth for this comeback stream. Okay. Alrighty, so while we go ahead and wait for some people to join the chat, let's go ahead and start at the top with some shout-outs. Okay, we got Hibachi coming in saying the first and the last stream of the year. Damn, he really doing me that dirty? Like, here we are with this unexpected comeback stream, and this man is already being negative. Well, Hibachi might say he's a realist, and you know what? He may be right. He may be right at that. We got Flame in the chat. Oh shit, yeah, that's right. You better censor yourself because this is a Christian YouTube stream. You know the vibes, man. We ain't been gone that long. We got David Biglot in the chat. What's up, everyone? All caps. I love that energy. We got Justin Ayala. News so shitty, Neo had no choice but to cover it. I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments saying that. It's like, damn. Fucking Warner Brothers Montreal, Rocksteady, now Monolith, like all the shitty stuff happening at WB Games forced this man Neo out of retirement. Hey, listen, man, if there's something that you can say about your boy is that he's consistent in being inconsistent with the streams, but he will always come back. Listen, hey, I don't have a gallon of milk with me, but I got some water. So hey, that's the next best thing. I didn't come back empty-handed. And for all my Xenoblade fans, we got some amiibos on deck. We got Shulk right here. So that's already some eye candy for the stream. We got the GOAT Xenoblade Chronicles 3 amiibo. Look at that. We got Noah and Mio. And that's it. Those are the only Xenoblade amiibos I want to buy. I don't recognize anything else. Someone said there's a Xenoblade 2. Actually, it's just Xenoblade 1, Xenoblade X, and Xenoblade 3. What is a Xenoblade 2? Oh god, I'm gonna get a lot of people in the in the playback stream saying, hey. No Xenoblade 2. Okay, listen, we ain't gonna slander Xenoblade 2, but Rex is definitely gonna get some. He gonna get some slander, man, because I got some words for Rex. The sauce of a protagonist of Rex. Listen, Rex was not cool until Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC. That's all I'm saying. But regardless of that, OC Yusufied saying exactly. Yup. My man gets it. I know. But we definitely gonna talk about some Xenoblade hype later. We got Long Live Kevin Samuels in the chat. Yes, sir. Avowed is low-key mid. Ooh, already starting out the stream with, I can't even say that's controversial because Avowed has gotten some mixed reviews across the board. I put some time into it. I can definitely speak my piece on it. We got Def35 in the chat. A wild Neo has appeared. Happy National Pokemon Day. Hey, I'll take that. That's positive. Speaking of Pokemon, man. Where's Kory Gryffindor? Because we got some roasting. But it's not the roasting y'all are thinking of. We got the homie Artsy Avanti coming in with a $5 super chat. We're not even 5 minutes into the stream. Thank you so much, my brother. He says, Neo, I need to talk about how Red Dead Redemption 2 changed my life. I don't think I've ever experienced a feeling like this in my years of gaming. How? Okay, so Avanti, thank you for the super chat, my brother. As always, it is good to see you. Did you finish the game? Because depending on your next words will dictate how much I speak on Red Dead Redemption 2, outside of just blind praise for the story. I need to know. I'm surprised nobody made a comment saying, damn, freaking, it took Trump coming back into office for Neo to stream again. Shit. Okay, who else we got in here? We got Julian Phoenix, free the Nemesis system. Yo, man, listen, we're gonna talk about it. You guys. Trust me, I got some choice words. We got PS tutorial. Shit. Yes, sir. Make Neo's channel great again. Oh god, make Neo great again. I'm trying, guys. I'm here. Guys, I am here for the stream. Is that not what you wanted? I'm trying to do this. Okay. So RT Avanti said he's currently on the epilogue. He's loving it. All right, so he's beat the game already. You beat the game. Yeah, let's really talk about it. Red Dead Redemption 2, that game is almost 10 years old. Like, y'all had the opportunity to play it. So I'm gonna speak on some spoilers of that game. That game tore my heart in half. It did. It tore my heart in half. It threw it on the floor. It picked it back up. You thought it was going to put it back together again. It's like, nope. Fuck that shit, bro. Red Dead Redemption 2. It's so funny because my experience playing that game, you guys remember it. I was so excited for it when it was coming out. I was like, yes, finally, because I love Red Dead 1. Red Dead 1 is one of my favorite Rockstar games. Love John Marston. And that ending for that game was shocking. So I was thinking to myself, like, how are they going to top it with Red Dead Redemption 2? The graphics look great and everything, but I'm not really feeling this. It's a prequel. We'll see. So I start playing the game, and I got probably like halfway into it, and it wasn't hooking me, man. I wasn't really a fan of how slow and sluggish the controls were. And, that's just, Rockstar is not great when it comes down to the controls or the aiming in their games. That much is a given. But, we suffer through it because the game's so good. But something about Red Dead just turned me the fuck off. It was like, all right, y'all leaning a little too heavily into this realism type shit. So then I put the game down, didn't touch it for, I want to say, 2 years. And then lockdown happened, and then Shut Up Gabe was like, bro, you gotta continue playing this game, man. You gotta play this game. You gotta go through it. Trust me. And I was like, but bro, the game is just so freaking long, and I don't want to deal with these controls. And it's just like this nigga Dutch keeps saying he got a plan, but I don't think he's got a plan, bro. But man, he was just like, no. You gotta play this, bro. So I kept playing it. I streamed some of it, and I was just like, I really fucks with this Arthur Morgan guy. Arthur Morgan is fucking great. And what I loved about Arthur Morgan is, like, he's one of those protagonists that, to me, he's kind of an unlikely protagonist. Like, he's not someone who's, I'm in this because I have a vendetta against somebody. He's just someone who just got involved with all of these things here, and he's just trying to protect his close people in his little circle. And everything is just an inconvenience for him, unfortunately. And, bro, how attached you get to Arthur Morgan as a character, holy shit, dude. And what they do with this man's story and how you're playing this character and everything is all good and everything, and then this man, I'm not gonna go into the specifics because even though I said spoilers, it's all a fair game, but dude, this man gets sick, and you have to play through the rest of the game with this man being sick and how that affects the story. And just, bro, I'm gonna stop it right now, but everything that happens in this game with this man's story is so fucking beautiful. And by the time you get to the end of the game and it concludes, you are just left a quivering mess, bro. Like, your relationships with the crew you built, and then your horse as well. I'm a sucker for if you have animals in a game and the animals play somewhat of a role in the story for the main character. It was beautiful, bro. And by the end of it, it broke me, man. I still think about the ending for Red Dead Redemption 2 to this day. And yes, I got the full honor ending, because I was a good boy. I'm always a good boy. I'm Team Paragon for every single first playthrough I have. And then I try to be Renegade for the subsequent playthroughs, and I'm just too much of a bitch to continue it. I'm very real, y'all. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, controls suck ass in that game. The aiming sucks ass in that game, but everything else in that game is fucking amazing. Great characters, great writing. The voice acting is phenomenal. Performances, I just like, honestly, if we never get another Rockstar game on that level ever again, I'll be okay with it. Because to me, that's like their magnum opus in terms of writing, in terms of everything you could do with a game. It's that. And I know it's very easy to say that in the present point in time, and then boom, they come out with another Red Dead game and it's even better. But I don't know. Sometimes you feel these things about certain things and you're like, that's it. Nothing's gonna get better. But yeah, Avanti, man, I'm happy you experienced it. They really don't make games like that anymore. We got any Red Dead 2 fans in the chat? I know I saw Jason over here. He was saying how, for the same reason I put the game down, but it was awesome, man. It was awesome. Okay, so we got a couple super chats. Let me go back to the shout-outs. We have a $2 super chat coming in from DMZ. Appreciate you, my brother. Hey, Neo, what are your thoughts on Invincible Season 3? DMZ, my brother, I'm gonna make this very short. Unfortunately, I haven't started Invincible Season 3. I haven't even finished Invincible Season 2. I don't know. For whatever reason, Invincible, it hasn't hit me the same way Season 1 did. Like, when Season 1 was coming out, it was a lot of fun. We were all watching it. It was great. And then Season 2, maybe it was like the gap in time between seasons that kind of made me lose interest. But then Season 2 dropped. I started watching it, and it didn't hook me the same way. And if something doesn't really hook me, as I'm sure you could see, I'll put it down and go watch, play, read something else. And then Season 3 dropped, and I was like, all right, And it's I don't know. Like, is it good? Like, people who are watching Invincible, is it genuinely good? Are you guys enjoying it, or is it just something you're watching because you started it and you're this invested in it? Because I'm very particular, as you guys know, with how I spend my time. So I don't really want to watch something that's extremely uneven and there's really no, not that there's no payoff, like we're building towards something, but there's no like, okay, this is it. It's like there's a great show. There's a couple of issues here and there, but it's still a great show. With the discourse of Invincible, I see a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, it's cool and everything, but just wait a couple seasons till they adapt this part of the comic. And I was like, oh, in that case, I'll wait, you know. But hey, when the season wraps up and I literally have nothing else to watch, because I'm running out of things, because I've been binging a lot of stuff recently when I'm not gaming. So I feel like Invincible is probably going to end up on that list at some point. But a lot of people are saying it's better than season 2. I have one person here saying it's mid. Some people said season 2 is mid, so 3 is better. Okay, so all right, so season 3, all right, I'm going to take your guys' word for it, and I am going to finish up season 2 and then go through season 3. I don't know, it's just very weird because I don't really see a lot of the same people who, again, this might just be anecdotal based off my circle, but like when Invincible season 1 dropped, everybody I knew, we were all talking about it. It was great. And then season 2, less so, and then season 3, you guys are like really the first people. It's you guys and then my homeboy Paris on Twitter. He's the only person I know, at least in this circle. Or maybe people are watching it, but they're not talking about it. It could be that too. But thank you for the super chat, DMZ. We got Blue Senchi coming in with a $4.99 super chat. Appreciate it, my brother. Hey, what's up? Been too long. How have you been, Infinity 4 head? It's Infinity 5 head. Thank you very much. Just finished my first playthrough of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. It was great. Blue Senchi, my man, thank you for the super chat. And yes, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, dude, you want to talk about a game that just gets better with time? Fire Emblem 3 Houses is that shit, bro. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is the game. You know, Engaged came out. I enjoyed Engaged for what it was. I loved the gameplay mechanics of Engaged. Story, characters, all that stuff. I mean, you look at the character designs, you're like, nah, that ain't gonna hit. And it wasn't. It wasn't great. You know, the story in it was not good. I mean, it's still something to play if you like Fire Emblem tactical combat. But, you know, it doesn't hold the candle to 3 Houses. 3 Houses was just so fucking cool, man. It was the perfect storm. It had all the sauce, you know? Like, I mean, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so you mix Harry Potter with freaking Persona light elements and you put Fire Emblem in the mix, gorgeous soundtrack. Like, I love it, man. It was awesome. And with the more time that passes, I love it even more. I do want to replay it because I did finally get around to playing all 3 routes, and that was fun. But then it's just like, do I want to go back and replay it just to play it on the hardest difficulty and kill myself? I don't know, man. But Fire Emblem 3 Houses, if you guys have not played it, it's one of the best games on Switch, and I really hope the next Fire Emblem, I mean, we're due for one. We are really due for, guys, think about it for a second. Fire Emblem Engaged, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, that game, they had that shit was in the tuck for at least like, what, a year, 2 years, and they were sitting on it, and then they finally released it. I think that's how it was with Engage, because it did not take no freaking, how many years it was from 3 Houses to Engage. It didn't take that long to develop. So from my understanding, they were sitting on it for at least a year. So with that logic, if it's the same team or same people involved, we could theoretically get a new Fire Emblem game within the next 2 years. Ooh, and on that Switch too? Let's fucking go, bro. Let's fucking go. Honestly, I feel like Fire Emblem is the franchise from Nintendo that has so much untapped potential. I'm not talking about they need to make spin-offs for gulp shit or whatever. I'm talking about we can get remakes, we can get mainline games, we can get collections, but that implies that Nintendo likes to make money doing more than the bare minimum. And we know that they hate doing the bare minimum. So yeah, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, just go fuck yourself until they announce a new game and just be happy, and that'll be the only Fire Emblem game we play for years. But seriously, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, goated fucking game. Actually, you know what? I was rearranging stuff here, and oh man, still got this bad boy. Oh, still got the Seasons of Warfare edition. I used to call it Wayfare for whatever reason, but still got this bad boy right over here. It's seen better days, but you know, goated game, if you guys couldn't tell. Okay, so wow, you guys are really blessing it tonight with the super chats. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to get all these shout outs out of the way. Damn, you guys are awesome. Okay. Okay, hold up real quick. So we got Marcus Doyle-Terrell, who's been a member for the past 53 months of the Phantom Weirdo tier. Appreciate you, my G. Do you think it's okay to ask people out at the gym? I would ask them, but I don't want to ruin my workout or theirs. Also, what are your pet peeves that said gym? Marcus is just really trying to get like a 45-minute spiel out of me. Yo. But yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Okay. Is it okay to ask people out at the gym? You know, do you feel like you might be a creep or it might be a waste of time? And what are your pet peeves at the gym? So first things first, man, when it comes to asking people out of the gym, I'm a firm believer that when you're in the gym, what is your objective? The main objective in the gym is to make some fucking gains. You should be the time that you spend in the gym should be great for you, for your mental health, for your physical health, but you should only be in there to accomplish that one objective. But once you have accomplished that objective, you do have a little bit of a wiggle room to do some other stuff. So in the case of asking people out of the gym, like I've asked women out of the gym before. I've done that multiple times. I don't go in there making that my sole objective, and I will tell you guys why. Because, and I'm not saying this shit to be mean or rude or whatever, but if you're in the gym and you've got a really good looking girl, or, you know, let's not discriminate, really good looking girl or good looking dude or whatever, and someone is paying them attention and they're trying to talk to them to get their number, ask them out or whatever, you don't think that 40 other people are doing the exact same thing? So I'm not saying you shouldn't ask out a woman at the gym because a lot of other people are doing the same thing. All I'm saying is that it might be more of an uphill battle for you because a lot of other people are trying the same thing. And let's be real, most of the people that go to the gym have body dysmorphia, anxiety, self-image issues, blah, blah, blah. Some of these people don't even know how to have conversations with folk. And when you're at the gym, it's kind of like a different set of rules. So the way I've been successful at it is when you're in the gym, you got to be in there to do what you're supposed to do. Your purpose, your passion, that's what it is. Focus on that first. However, if you see something that looks good, right? First off, start establishing a connection. That doesn't mean stop her when she's on the treadmill or stop her when she's mid-set and to say like, oh, you really look beautiful or blah, 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 blah. But be smooth with it. Be smooth with this shit, man. So how I've had success is if I see a girl at the gym and I'm eyeing her and she's eyeing me or whatever, but we both don't want to make that move or whatever, you know, I'll do something slick. Like I'll go up to her and I'll say, oh, using this piece of equipment right here, knowing in my mind that she's not using that or whatever. And I'll start doing that. And then from there, you establish a little connection. Let's say you're working out near each other and she finishes a hard set and then she's like really out of breath. You know, just give her like a visual thumbs up. Simple stuff, nothing crazy. And then you just have to read body language. If you're able to establish that everything is okay, you can start a quick conversation. But never let it take you out of the gym mindset. You should be there to work. So the conversations that I've had with women before I asked them out have lasted, I shit you not, like 20 seconds max. 20 seconds max to establish connection. And then from there, when you see them, it's a simple hi, hello. Don't be that thirsty dude who's trying to have a conversation, get her Instagram on the first day, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that shit doesn't work, but come on now, you're in there to work, and then you just start making it really weird when you get really aggressive off rip. You know what I'm saying? For some women that works, that's fine. But you never want to be that dude. And trust me, when you are not that dude and you just establish feelers and hints, it's like fucking catnip for certain women, bro. They're just like, wait, this guy looks good, I look good, he's not pursuing me. The math ain't mathin'. Trust me on this shit, bro. Like, it's you being indifferent. Not saying you got to be an asshole, but you being indifferent and you having that abundance mindset that will help you in the gym. But first things first, man, you just got to establish a rapport. You got to see if you hit it off, if you guys have like similar humor and banter and interest and blah, 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 you know? If you don't feel the vibes or the energy and it's weird and it feels like a fucking interview when you're just having a simple conversation with the person at the gym, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shoot your shot, man, but never forget the reason why you are there at the gym. You're in there at the gym to fucking work, and don't let it take away from what you were doing. Hold on one second. Sorry. And the second thing, what are your pet peeves at the gym? I mean, I got a lot, you know, like outside of like when you see gym bros who be like using like 40 different pieces of equipment and they count it as one set. Like that shit is annoying. Like stop it. Like what are you training for? To fight the Avengers? Come on now. Honestly, my biggest pet peeve in recent years has been folks who come to the gym and they take up equipment, but they don't work out. Like, it's one thing if you're a dude who's supersetting on 2 separate machines, but you're working, you know what I'm saying? At least they're working. But when I see people coming to the gym and they just sit on equipment, they're scrolling TikTok, or they're just talking to other people in the gym, like, bro, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mind my own business when I'm at the gym, but when people start coming and talking to me rather than working out, like, not as simple like, hey, can you spot me, bro, or whatever, like, wanted to have a full-on 5-hour conversation. I'm like, my nigga, this is not the place for that. This is not the place for that. We can have a quick conversation about certain things, but come to the gym to work, focus. Focus. But too many people in the gym just come in here and think that they're there in the gym. That's all they need to do. It's like, bro, focus on this shit. I don't care how long you've been in the gym. I don't care if you just started yesterday. I admire people who have discipline and who work out and they're focused. Like, if we're both training and we talk for like a minute after our sets, that's fine. But when I see people moving there, and I can, if I go through a whole deadlift workout from warm up to working sets, and these motherfuckers are still talking, I'm like, why are you here, bro? Like, what the fuck? You know, some other people are talking about some other pet peeves. Someone says, like, I hate people who grunt when they work out. See, I'm not opposed to grunting, because when you lifting some heavy fucking weight, it's just par for the course, you know, like, ugh. But when people are aggressive with it, like, bro, there was a dude at the gym today. Oh my God. This dude was grunting, doing pull downs with 135. My nigga, what is there to grunt? You are pulling down 100. What the fuck? Like, every single, and you can hear it from on the other side of the gym. I'm like, bro, come on now. Like, there's just some people who just, you know, but yeah, the people who just come to the gym, take up equipment, they talk, they don't work out. And then everything else is just kind of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who leave, like, there's like a hierarchy of things that annoy me. But thankfully, I've removed myself from those environments where I come across the folk like that. Like, I'm no longer working out at corporate gyms anymore. That has been a blessing. You know, just getting away from that. The gym I work out right now is like damn near my dream gym, bro. You go in there, it's rarely, if ever, crowded. Amazing state-of-the-art equipment. People are there who actually want to work out for the most part. And I like that. You know, I don't need to have like, 40 different gym girls here to ogle or this, that, and the third. Like, some people just treat the gym as like a social experiment where they go and they hang out and do stuff. And I get it. You can make friends at the gym. I've made tons of friends at the gym. But man, it's all like we have the same mindset. Like, when it's time to work, it's time to work. Like, there was this one dude who just, bro, he comes to the gym specifically just to talk to people. I know folks say, well, you know, maybe he's lonely. He wants to talk to some people. Nigga, go on Discord. Why are you paying a $90 gym membership? What the fuck is going on here? You can go to a random Discord server and talk to niggas for free. Shit is crazy. But anyways, that's that for now. Like I said, I can go on for 45 minutes. Let me get this intro out of the way real quick. What is going on, people? What's up? Welcome to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Ask Neo. If you guys are tuning in for the very first time, Ask Neo is my somewhat regular, most often irregular series where I answer your questions to the best of my ability. And every now and then we talk about some trending topics that have been happening in the industry, whether it's video games, whether it's anime, whether it's comic book nerd shit. This is the place for you. Let's just address the elephant in the room because he is over here. Hello, Mr. Elephant. It is so nice to see you again. Thank you. Are you enjoying your stay? This is our first Ask Neo for 2025, coming at the tail end of February. But I, being the person that I am, knew I could not go 2 months of the year without having an Ask Neo stream. This is our first stream, I believe, since the Game Awards, you know? And so we ended the year off on a high note because the Keeleys that year were pretty good. But ever since then, you know, it's just went from that to the holiday season and then back to the work grind and just a whole bunch of other stuff here happening in the real. You guys know what it is. But we are back at it like a crack addict. This man said Fire Emblem is mid. You see, this is why not all skin folk are kinfolk, and they not like us. And Flame is definitely not like us. But yeah, so if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. And we got a shit ton of super chats rolling in. I will try my best to answer everything in addition to doing the shout outs as they come. But before that, I'm gonna take myself a sip of water because we've been talking nonstop for half an hour and it's been a while since I've done this. Your boy Neo is a yapper, but every now and then he needs to like work himself up to that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Beetle Rat said, I only go to the gym for the big mirrors. I mean, that is true. Where else are you going to have access to just such a huge array of mirrors for a low monthly cost? But yeah, while I go ahead and catch up on all these super chats, how have you guys been? How have things been for the past 2 months or so? I'm seeing a lot of regulars in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of old faces, some new faces too. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the industry, which we are going to touch on. One of them is the current topic that we are going to get into involving WB Games and just the disaster that is WB Games. There's so many levels and layers to this shit. What a year 2024 was for them. But yeah, other than that, you guys, what have you been up to? What have you been reading? What have you been watching? What have you been playing? Life updates, events, all that good stuff. Comment down below, let your boy know, and I'll definitely share with you guys what I've been playing and watching once I get a hold of all this stuff. We have a $5 super chat coming in from Artsy Avanti. One more thing, I'm doing a full PC playthrough. Once you start that new game, you start to understand the full context of a story and how we got there. Yeah, there's definitely, the one thing I love about Red Dead Redemption 2 is like once you beat the game, it's not just like, oh, you beat the game and everything. You have the epilogue portion, which of course leads into the first Red Dead Redemption. And then just looking back on everything that happened in that game in tandem with Red Dead Redemption 1, it's a beautiful fucking story, bro. And I love things that make you look back on the story and it makes you appreciate the storytelling. Another example of that was, believe it or not, Agatha All Along, which was one of the more recent Marvel Cinematic Universe shows on Disney Plus. And I remember being like, who the fuck is this Agatha show for, man? Y'all just greenlighting everything. Because, you know, Catherine Hahn was awesome as Agatha, but like, do we really need a show? And then I start watching this show and I was like, oh, this is very good. This is good. I get what they're going for. It's perfect for the spooky season vibes. And then by the time you get to the end of the show and the last episode, it just puts everything in context, what you thought you knew. And then you go back and look at those scenes and you're like, wow. And I'm trying not to give too many spoilers because I know a lot of people haven't watched Agatha yet, but Agatha All Along is a very good show. And it's one of those series where it makes you look back on the stuff that you thought you knew. And it's like, oh no, this is completely not what I thought. But it's great. It's great. Kory Gryffindor with the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Kory, let's celebrate your 10th super chat on live stream. Bro, how has it been 3-4 years in a fucking row that every single time Kory Gryffindor super chats, YouTube is it's like stuck in the realm of darkness, and all it says is that Kory Gryffindor has super chatted for the 10th time. There are 3 constants in life: death, taxes, and Kory Gryffindor celebrating his 10th super chat on the live stream. Congratulations, Kory. Thank you, bro. But Kory says, can we talk about the new Digimon story and roasting Don Otaku's Pokemon ass, also data battles? Yes, absolutely. Well, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, your boy went through and completed Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 over the past couple of weeks. And I'm like getting halfway through Birth by Sleep, you know, so I've been in Kingdom Hearts mood. So, you know, that's leading up towards the data battles. Because when we're in that Kingdom Hearts mood, we're going to accomplish some shit, bro. And we did. We ran through those games back to back. And then we're going to not go through 3 again, but push ourselves to do the data battles for 3. Because I started doing them in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I was like, this shit is kind of fun. It's frustrating because, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2, even on like the harder difficulties, it's still a fairly easy game to get through. When you hit those data battles, it's like, oh, nigga, you wanted bosses that you actually have to learn and memorize shit? Yeah, fight them here. And I think that's what I'm preparing myself for when we get into 3, because 3 is just that times a million. And then old buddy Yozora, that nigga, I'm a not break a controller because them bitches like $70, but I might sternly put down a controller. But yeah, the new Digimon story game. Okay, so that is something that did happen while we were away, you guys. We had a recent state of play, which for the most part was pretty vanilla, pretty missionary. If you know anything about state of plays at this point, you know it's like they're like the worst version of a Nintendo Directs, where Nintendo Directs have like a lot of surprises, and even if there's not a lot of stuff you're interested in, they do have stuff. State of plays are just that, but without the sauce. But we did get a good announcement from this new one, which was a brand new Digimon story game, which, listen, if you guys have been fans of the channel for the past decade, you would recall me being on here, and I was talking and hyping up this game called Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Do I have it here? Let's pull it up on stream. Yes, sir, we do. Oh, yes, we do. Right here, baby. Here we go. We're going to do it live. We have got ourselves some visual aids. The good kind of aids. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And this is the, I guess you could call it a quasi-sequel. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Y'all are really blessed at it tonight. I appreciate you. But this game right here. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Man, homeboy might have to make a separate video on this shit, because the hype, y'all remember the hype. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. The story about this game, for those who don't know what the fuck this is, what is a Digimon? Is that the off-brand version of Pokemon? No, it is not the off-brand version of Pokemon. Digimon, as a franchise, has been a part of my life since I was a kid. You know, ever since I watched them being like, what the fuck is this? And then I watched the first 4 seasons of the anime, loved it, and then after that I kind of fell out of it. But the one cool thing about Digimon is that they had this game that was in Japan on the PlayStation Vita called Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, right? And it was a Digimon game made from the developers of the Wild Arms series. Have you guys ever played the Wild Arms series? Like Wild Arms 3 on the PS2, that was my first one. Those same people were like, fuck it, let's do a Digimon game. And they did a Digimon game that was really friggin' good. You know, it's a Digimon game that's a turn-based JRPG. It's kind of got like a Persona Light element added in there, and you'll notice that about a lot of things that I say of the games that came out at that time. Persona Light element, and it's cool. You know, it's like it's a licensed anime game that doesn't suck. It's not like it's a tie-in for the series. You know, this is like a completely original story. You know, with original characters. It's got a decent story, and you're just collecting and raising and evolving all of these Digimon, and it was awesome. So the thing about this game is that it existed in Japan a while back. This is like, I want to say like 2014 it came out on the Vita, 2014, 2015, and we were like, yo, bring this game over to the States. But y'all know the situation with the PlayStation Vita. You know, outside of Japan and, you know, with some indie support here and there, the Vita was not a success. So the odds of them bringing this game over were very slim. But Bandai Namco saw there was like a lot of fan support online, people petitioning, campaigning, making YouTube videos. They're like, all right, you know what? We're going to bring this to the States on the PS4. You'll get it on the Vita, but it's going to be digital. But the important thing is we got this game. And I was like, fuck it. I'm pre-ordering this the day it comes out. Got the game. Loved it. Played through it. It was a lot of fun. And, you know, like Persona and Yakuza, it was one of those games I just kind of blindly recommended to people. Like, hey, if you like this, you might like this. Let's support it so we can get more of it. The game was such a big success that we ended up getting a sequel game, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Now, this one right here, I'm just going to be honest, I never finished the sequel because the story didn't hook me as much as the first one did. And this one felt more like DLC rather than it being a full standalone game. Now, I still went out there, I still supported it, I still bought it. But everything that I got out of this game was here, but it just wasn't as good. Now, I don't know, for anyone who's played through this one, maybe you guys might have enjoyed it. It didn't hook me the same way. Like, the feeling of familiarity was way too strong with the sequel as opposed to the first one, which I know you could say about a lot of sequels, but this, it just felt like, oh, you could have done this as a DLC story, maybe like 10, 20 hours, and then boom, you're done. It just didn't have that same hook. But, you know, we still support franchises like that. But the first game had all the drip and the sauce. But after that, they just never made another Digimon story game. You know, they did come out with another game in the Digimon franchise. That was Digimon World Next Order. But this was more for the fans of the Digimon World series as opposed to the Story Cyber Sleuth. But I still went out there and supported it to show Bandai Namco that, hey, listen, we want more Digimon games. And then they just never did anything else. Period, point blank. They didn't put out any games for years up until Digimon Survive, which was, again, a completely different genre. It was like a visual novel mixed in with the... They went to some different dark places with Digimon Survive. A lot of cool places with Digimon Survive. But, you know, it was a game that, like, it took so long to develop. And there was, at one point, they set a release date for the game. We were getting close to the release date. And then they just delayed it for a year. And then COVID happened. And, you know, the game came out. And I don't think it was, like, a big success for them. But now we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. We got a brand new sequel to that game. And it's just... I still can't believe that this is happening because, you know, like, we knew they were working on something, but we hadn't seen anything of it. And until I actually see a concrete release date or tangible gameplay, I don't think any game exists. Like, you tell me that there's a Fable game in development, and I'm like, sure, maybe there is, but can I see more gameplay snippets outside of like a chick walking back and forth, a horse, and then you slashing something? I want to see tangible gameplay when I can put the controller in my hand and play it. But maybe that Fable game will come out someday. But regardless of that, this new Digimon game comes out, and it's surreal because it kind of gives me like that next gen experience, even though it's a fucking AA Digimon game. Because the first game, Cyber Sleuth, was a game that released on the Vita, and they just ported it to PS4. This one is a from the ground up Digimon game made for the, I believe it's a current gen exclusive. I don't think it's on PS4, but if it is on PS4, whatever. Either way, it's a big deal for Digimon fans that we're getting a new game, and it's developed with a console hardware in mind, and it looks awesome, man. The effects look great. You know, I'm excited to see where they go with this from the story angle and getting more Digimon in there. And that was one of my favorite parts of Cyber Sleuth. Like, even though like the gameplay loop was very simple and it was like the level design was very repetitive, it was so fun to get your Digimon and then level them up and then digivolve them in the different branching paths that you can go. It was just really fucking dope, dude. And it was a great RPG on top of that. It was a great turn-based system. So I'm excited to see what they do with this one. We're getting a new Digimon game. Hopefully that shit is on point. Hopefully that shit is awesome, because if we support that, we're going to get more of them. But talking about Don Otaku, we might as well bring this up. Don Otaku, who's been a member for the past 21 months of the Fandom Weirdo tier, he says, we smoking that Digipack tonight. Metaluga, what the fuck? Metaluka Manga Gaga. I can't even pronounce what the fuck this dude typed. Is rolling in his grave. The reason why we got to bring up Don Otaku is, as you guys know, Don Otaku he's a deviant. He is a heathen. But we just realized today that Don Otaku also can't see, so he's got some vision issues. You know, probably from all those hentai games and him just, let me not, Christian YouTube stream. Maybe he got something in his eye. I don't know. But Don Otaku had been saying, like, for the longest time, like, oh, Digimon is ass compared to Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. And the only thing that we could ever give him was from a sales point of view. Yes, Digimon is not on the same level as Pokemon. It will never be. But if we talking like pound for pound, dollar for dollar enjoyment you're getting out of the game and effort, bro, there was way more effort put into a fucking Digimon game on the Vita than there was the past couple Pokemon games. And we talking about frame rate too. Why is a Digimon game on the Vita running at a better frame rate than these Pokemon games on the Switch? Explain that to me, Don Otaku. But he can't. He never can. He can never do that. All he says is, oh, sales better, bro. And then meanwhile, he's playing these games running at 14 frames per second that look like some shit with worse textures than The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64. But I digress. 45 million units sold. And yes, I agree with him. Yes, good sales numbers, man. Shout out to y'all. If y'all like it, I love it. Begrudgingly. But they came out with this Pokemon Day event. Again, it was disappointing to a lot of people. Outside of Pokemon Concierge. I like that. I like that show. It's cool. It's on Netflix. Stop motion Pokemon. It's great. Only 4 episodes. Sucks, but whatever. They showed another trailer for Pokemon A to Z, Z to A, Legends, Zagalgos or whatever. Which again, if y'all are a fan of it, I love that for y'all. But I'm just looking at this shit and I'm like, man, that's another rough looking Pokemon game, bro. But you know what? It is what it is. Don Otaku, on the other hand, is over there like, oh, he's literally creaming himself seeing this trailer. And meanwhile, you're looking at this shit. Where's the texture? That's a pop-in. This looks awful. And he had the nerve to say that the Digimon game that's coming out looks worse than that. And at that point, I stopped taking a nigga seriously. Like, we been stopped taking Don Otaku seriously. His hairline stopped taking him seriously. That's why it's receding. His vision stopped working. I mean, listen, when they joke about Nintendo fans, I'm sorry that Don Otaku is the poster child for that. You know, it just is what it is with him. But you will not slander this new Digimon story game. You will not, man. You will not, bro. I'm not gonna take this slander from a fucking dude who over there, he said like, yo, the Pokemon team, they cooking with this new game. Nigga, how a Pokemon game come out and it is both undercooked and overcooked at the same time? Explain that to me. Don Otaku, doesn't matter, 45 million sales. Bro, this is a toxic ass relationship. But again, if y'all like it, I love it. Begrudgingly. That's my new thing for 2025. Begrudgingly. That's it. But yeah, man, it's just I don't know. I really don't like that nigga, bro. I really don't. He just be saying some stupid shit. He just be saying some stupid shit, bro. But I love him. That's my guy. But yeah, new Digimon game coming out this year, and the side-by-side comparisons are gonna be so fucking funny. Down Otaku saying like, yo, this new Digimon game, it's like Xenoblade. You see them features they added in there? Nigga, why does Xenoblade 1 on the Wii look better? Lord, why do you give me your toughest battles? I tell you. But regardless of that, shout out to all the Pokemon fans. Just shout out, guys. Just shout out to them, man. They just you guys already know the term I want to say, but I can't say it. You know, they suffer from the SS. You know, they suffer from the fucking Stockholm syndrome. Like, if this game is better than that, then I don't know, man. Curse the lower expectations. Anyways, let me get back to these super chats real quick. You see what you did, Kory Gryffindor? You see what you fucking did? You see what you did? Brought me out of character for a second. The Marcus Dortzfeld with a $10 super chat. Do you think gaming and anime was better when it was exclusive for gamers and nerds for gaming? I feel like catering towards everybody. Anime. Hold on, wait. I feel like when you cater towards everybody with anime, the industry can't keep up with the recent popularity. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So basically, like, do you think it was better when it was niche and it was made for the people instead of just trying to throw a blanket, like, oh, we have to appeal to everybody, and in that case, we appeal to nobody. So this is a very complex thing to discuss because you can't just boil it down to as a yes or a no question with some respects. For certain aspects, I will agree that I think that from a period in time, the production of anime and video games was definitely better at one point versus now. If you're looking at, like, let's speak on anime for a particular. If you're looking at the amount of anime that is produced nowadays, it is astronomical, you guys. I'm not talking about like, oh, there's really nothing to watch if there's a lot of anime. No, there's the amount of anime that is produced per season is batshit insane. Like, the amount of anime that's been coming out per season is eclipsing some years where anime even released. It's fucking crazy. And it gets to a point where there's so many series coming out that realistically, even if they're good, it's hard to keep up with them. And when everything is starting to look so homogenized, like, I swear to God, there's some anime that come out that people recommended to me 1 year, and I look at it, I'm like, okay, that's what the characters look like. And then 2 years later, I'm like, oh, that must be that anime because they look very similar. They're like, no, it's a different anime. I'm like, what? But they have different stories, right? Like, no, similar stories, similar aesthetics. You know, this is just the vibe now, the whole isekai thing. And I'm like, holy fuck, bro. So in that respect, yeah, there's just way too much anime that they're producing because they're trying to appeal and capitalize on anime being so mainstream and accessible. Anime being mainstream and accessible is not a bad thing whatsoever because you guys know this. A lot of us are kind of approaching old head territory. If you weren't watching anime on Toonami or Adult Swim back in the day, your best option and way to support it was buying DVDs. But you guys know how that is. If you're a kid, you don't got a lot of money, how are you going to be able to buy the DVDs? And then also the amount of releases that came out on DVD versus what was out in Japan at the time, there was no competition. Versus nowadays where if you just pay like, what, a $10 Crunchyroll subscription, you know, you have access to hundreds upon hundreds of anime. You know, if you have services like Disney Plus with Hulu, there's tons of anime on there. Netflix, tons of anime on there. And there's some anime now that would have never been greenlit if it weren't for these big companies. You know, like just the fact that we have a Pluto anime, we have something like Blue-Eyed Samurai. We have a lot of these things that without the budget and the money of a company like Netflix, we probably wouldn't have gotten them. As crazy it is to say that, oh my God, this is a Naoki Urasawa work, like that eventually would have gotten animated, right? Like, no, Pluto came out like, what, 20 plus years ago? So in some respects now, anime is in a great position because we have a lot of good stuff. But me personally, as an anime fan, I'm burnt out on a lot of the things that are released these days, guys. And that's not to say that I keep up with everything because I don't. I have not kept up with anime on a season basis since like 2013. And every now and then, like after the season is finished, I'll ask you guys like, hey, do you have any recommendations for things? You guys would give me some recommendations and I would watch it. But man, just there's too much stuff that just comes out And unfortunately, like, the variety really isn't there as opposed to what it was before. Like, man, like, where is the next Cowboy Bebop? Where is the next Shampoo? Where's like these sort of series? And I'm not talking about from the creators. Like, I'm not talking about where's a new Rurouni Kenshin anime. We have one. But I'm saying, like, where are these shows that are on that caliber? Where's the next Yu Yu Hakusho? Where are these shonen series that aren't just the arbitrary shonen archetype? And I know those have always existed, especially for the past 2 decades. But man, like, there aren't really those series that are going to be on the level of a Naruto or a One Piece or whatever. Like, they can be popular, sure. And I'm not equating popularity to success. But, like, the shows that really make you fucking feel something, you know? The shows that make you like, yeah, they're shonen, but you fucking feel something. Like Attack on Titan, it is a miracle that we got a show like Attack on Titan at all, period, point blank. Because I'm looking at like the popular shows that have come out. I'm looking at, if you're looking from a quality point of view, it's Attack on Titan, if we're talking mainstream shit, Attack on Titan, and then everything else. And it's like, I see some things there, like Jujutsu Kaisen, like, that's cool. You know, Chainsaw Man, that's cool. But then it's like, for every one of those, we have 50 of these other things that are just so content. They're content, you know? Like, for every Vinland Saga that we get, which is goated, we have a bunch of the other series that are just content. And anime has been like that in the past, but to the degree it is now, it's just, it's okay, you know what? It's like the MCU, the problem with the MCU in phase 4, 5, and 6. You know, the MCU has had duds in the first 3 phases, but if you had one dud, it wasn't a big deal, because at most you had 3 movies a year, whatever. But when you got 4 TV shows, 3 movies, you know, 2 specials, a fucking tell-all confessional on why this movie bombed, like, it's too much to keep up with. And that's kind of my problem with anime nowadays. Like, there is good stuff sprinkled in, but it's not as simple as like, yo, when you looked at the shit that's available, boom, 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 boom. You know? And it's prompted a lot of people like myself to just take a step back and be a bit more selective about the anime we're researching. Like, these days, man, like, I'm consulting my sister on some shows that she really enjoys. I'm consulting, like, I haven't done this in forever. I'm consulting fucking, like, random threads online to see if there's something that might be my cup of tea. Because every time I get interested in a series, it just always goes fucking left. Promise Neverland. Oh, God. They fucked that anime up so bad. Bro, Streets were dead. As far as gaming goes, gaming, okay, so gaming, I will say, in terms of the if you're talking about variety across the board, I would definitely say that gaming is in a worse position. Definitely a worse position. If you're talking like AAA, like AA games just don't exist anymore. AA games are just Japanese games at this point when you think about it. The era of games where you had a clear-cut difference between single, double, and AAA games is gone. Because every single AA game... No, Attack on Titan's not mid. No. Attack on Titan's amazing. But it's like, why is Attack on Titan the only mainstream anime that challenges a lot of things, and it's interesting with this story, and then there's just everything else, which is kind of like, that's cool, I guess. You know, it's entertaining, you know? I'm talking like, we're talking strictly mainstream shit. Like, a series like Attack on Titan is fucking insane. And we used to get shit like that all the time. God. But no, when it comes to the gaming stuff, nowadays, everything has gotten so expensive to produce that they can't take the same risks that they did back in the PlayStation 1, the PS2 era, the 360. That era, like, dude, we are never going to see the historic run that was the 7th generation of game consoles. Like, yeah, we can complain about the small things like the yellow piss filter. We can complain about, you know, that being the true downfall of gaming with like monetization practices and all that stuff. We can complain until we're blue in the face. But if we're looking at the historic run of getting games like Gears of War, Uncharted, Mass Effect, BioShock, Fallout 3, Left 4 Dead, all the Nintendo games that we got, you know, like the sheer variety and the output that we got from those teams and those studios back then compared to now, games are way more expensive to produce, so they're going to take longer to produce. Like the average dev time back then was like, what, 2 years, maybe 3 years max if you were lucky. Now it's 5+ years, 6, 7, 8 years. In the case of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you know, we're seeing a lot of games get rebooted and restarted, which adds to the dev time. It's so funny because you remember how we were talking about Final Fantasy Versus 13 being like a catastrophic development, 10 years on and off? That's now becoming the norm for a lot of video games. Guys, think about this shit for a second. Final Fantasy Versus 13 becoming 15 was like one of the, alongside games like Duke Nukem Forever, whatever, was an example of, man, they spent 10 years on that. Now we're getting to the point where that's becoming the norm. Man, they spent 7 years on that, 8 years on that. It's fucking crazy, dude. And it's disappointing to me because it'll lead directly into our next topic, the main topic of the show. But because these budgets have gotten so astronomical, we're talking like 100, 200, 300, 400 million. We're flirting with $500 million, you know? In some cases, GTA 6, $2 billion, but that's GTA 6. It's going to make that money back when you wake up in the morning. Because we've gotten to that point, these studios cannot be afforded the same risks. Like, bro, I sincerely think like the PS4 generation is really going to be the last time where we see a lot of these studios have the opportunity to just fundamentally change all of their games and come out swinging, you know? Like the era that gave us the God of War 2018s and the Uncharted 4s, like, I don't think we're going to get that again. We might get a goated game from Naughty Dog with Intergalactic, but when's the next Naughty Dog game going to be? 2035 or some shit like that? And I get it. A great game is a great game is a great game. But man, it just... something has got to be done, bro. Because God forbid Intergalactic flops or the next game from, I don't know, like, let's say Fable is a disaster, right? Playground is probably not going to get the opportunity to work on something else other than Forza. You know? We're seeing a lot of these studios come out with a game that was just okay. Wasn't terrible. It was decent. But that's not enough anymore for a $200 million budget. Like the Callisto Protocol. I played Callisto Protocol. It was an okay game. It was solid. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was like a nice like 6.8, 7 out of 10 game. That game is not going to be getting a sequel like we want it to. And if it does, it's going to be like some divine miracle. Back in the day, we got a game like Assassin's Creed 1. Wasn't that great. But Assassin's Creed 2, what the fuck? Uncharted 1 was decent. Wasn't as good as the Jack games. Uncharted 2, though, Jesus Christ. Mass Effect 1, that game had a great story, great dialogue, everything else about the game. Mass Effect 1 fans, do not come at me. Do not come at me because your Mako ship is turned the fuck over and it cannot get back up. Call Life Alert, bitch. You can get it on the Citadel. Yeah, I will always slander Mass Effect 1. I love the game, but I will always slander it. Those games would not survive today. They're not afforded the opportunities to survive today. They aren't, man. Because your game has got to come out swinging. And you could say part of that is the discourse online. People are not as tolerant of things as they were before. I mean, there's reasons to that. Games are now becoming more expensive. People are now older. The demographic and the audience for games, the people that are... The thing about video games now is like... The stuff that we enjoyed when we were growing up, guys, and if you talk to a gamer 20 years ago, what were the games that they were playing? They would list off a variety of titles. And then you would have the dude bro gamers who played the sports stuff. You know, they would play like the wrestling games. They would play the occasional, like, that's out of the blue. Like, I didn't expect to see this in your collection, like a Devil May Cry 3. But that was what people considered. You had the core gamers who played the variety, and then you had the casuals who played the sports games, the wrestling stuff, things like that. Nowadays, kids, they're not playing the games that we grew up playing, guys. Kids these days are not playing God of War. Kids these days are not playing Halo. Well, no one's playing Halo, unfortunately. But that's another topic for another day. Kids these days are playing Fortnite. They're playing Roblox. They're playing, you know, whatever flavor of the month they find interesting, and they're getting absorbed in those forever games. And a lot of these studios are leaning towards that, because if they don't have that younger demographic audience who can pick up the slack from people like me, like, yeah, I'm an adult now. I have more disposable income to play games, and access to games are so easier than ever with Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus subscriptions, you know, multiple platforms, multi-plat shit, handheld devices, streaming, all that stuff, remote play. But there's only so many hours in a day that we can play these games. Like, optimistically, if I play a game for more than 2 hours a day, I consider that a blessing, because there's other shit that you want to do. And I'm not in the market to rush out there and buy every new thing just because it exists. So I'll buy it for $70, play it for 3 hours, and then just... A lot of people are going to wait. They're going to wait for it to go on sale. They're going to wait till they have some free time. They're going to maybe wait for it to hit a subscription service. And the younger gamers are not picking up that slack. Because if, let's say, for example, I don't get to the latest God of War, I know, like, there's a bunch of, like, 14, 15, 16-year-olds who are going to play that shit, and they're excited for it, because that's who I was back in the day. But now, you know what they're playing? They're playing the latest Fortnite, and they have a God of War emote skin combo that's available, with Kratos popping his ass and twerking. That's what the kids love. And I can't knock them for it. But they don't care that a next Mass Effect game is coming out. Like, every now and then you'll have one of them play a fucking, I don't know, a Baldur's Gate 3 or whatever, like a game that just blows up. But it's not across the board where you'll see, like, a diverse collection from them. And if you're not getting perfect exploit, kids are buying game currency instead of games themselves. That is perfect. And I can't blame them for it, because this is where gaming has shifted. It's not entertainment as a product anymore. It's entertainment as a service. How can you serve me? And those games are serving the kids. So they're going to keep pumping more money into it. The average kid is probably, what, hundreds, thousands of dollars in these games? Definitely thousands of dollars in these games. So their collection for gaming looks a little bit different. It's just a handful of those games, and that's it. Like, I don't know. Like, me, like, I'm from an era where it's like, we'll just buy weird shit. Like this VR headset. We'll buy this VR headset to play something like Batman Arkham Shadows, and it's a fucking awesome game. We'll play Asgard's Wrath 2, and it's a fucking awesome game. But try telling a kid to play this, and they're like, why? Fortnite VR? Is that what I should play it for? It's crazy how much things have shifted, bro. And in that respect, I mean, it's probably better for them, because all they need to do is buy a person can survive off of PlayStation 4 and be just fine. As asinine as it is for us now, people like us who have PS5s and Xboxes and gaming PCs, those kids can buy a PS4 and be fine. Sure, the games might not load as fast or look as good, but they'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about the concept of gaming being better back then, I think it was a lot healthier back then. I think that if you had a catastrophic bomb, it didn't hurt you as bad. I think there was definitely a lot more variety, and there were a lot more games that would come out, and the metrics for success back then were much easier to accomplish versus now. It was so funny because back in the day, we used to roast Square Enix for, like, when their games came out. If they weren't an instant success on day one, they were considered, they didn't live up to expectations, failed to hit expectations. It's like, damn, bro, like, when are you ever going to hit expectations? When are you ever satisfied, man? They will never be satisfied. But more so than anything, I think the biggest problem is when you have a lot of people when a lot of new money gets involved in gaming and the wrong people have the final say on gaming. that's where shit starts to go left. And that is exactly what has happened with WB Games as a whole. WB Games, like, let's get the important points out of the way. So WB Games is a publisher. You know, most of y'all will know them as a publisher from the Batman Arkham games, Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight. You know, that was like the real big claim to fame. They also published the Mortal Kombat franchise, Injustice. You know, they put out Multiverses. They relaunched Multiverses. They put out a very successful Harry Potter game. They've dabbled in doing something with Game of Thrones. Hasn't really worked out that well. But recently, in the past year, we have seen nothing but L's from this publisher. The first biggest L, and it's so funny because our resident friend Don Otaku is in the chat tonight. Their first big L was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Okay, and you know we can add like a little L on top, like a whipped cream L right on top, because it's not only Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but it's also Gotham Knights. Right, Gotham Knights was a more successful game than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but it still had this stench, this odor on it, where this was not really the game that it could have been. I'm not saying that it was the game that we were promised or any of this yada 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 nonsense, but it wasn't as good as it should have been. Then we get Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a game that is being billed as a live service forever title. And I know they said it's not live service. I know Don Otaku was over there on day one saying it's not a live service game, but everything about the game screamed live service. You look at the menus, you look at the HUD, you look at what you have to do, the gameplay loop, you look at what you do after the game. It's a live service game. It's not a live service game when it's not successful, but when it is successful, we want to make it a forever game. So it's like, okay, bro. All right, I see the reasoning. But you have that game come out, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a game that, if you just told me it's going to be a 4-player Suicide Squad co-op game a la Left 4 Dead, I think most people would like that. Like, cool, like, we don't really have a lot of, like, great co-op games these days. When was the last co-op game that people played during COVID? Like, Outriders? Outriders was a lot of fun for what it was. Did you tell me we can do, like, Suicide Squad just like that? And then you'll maybe do, like, DLC expansion missions and ever? Sure. Why not? But it turned it into a game that wasn't that. And another one of those constantly evolving and forever games that demands your attention. And therein lies the problem. Not every game needs to be a forever game, bro. Not every game needs to be played every single day. There's only a finite amount of hours in the day, and there are only a couple of games that are the most successful. Like, the most recent new addition to those kind of games is Helldivers 2. And before that, what was the biggest game? The same shit that's been the biggest game for the longest time. It's Fortnite, it's Call of Duty, it's Roblox, it's Minecraft, and then Apex Legends every now and then, right? It's the same games that are being played. So when you have all these companies out there trying to compete for that, you have an uphill battle. And when you compound that with the story of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League not being that great, I'm not going to sit here and be like those folks online saying it's a disservice and they killed this and the legacy and blah, blah, blah. Sure, they definitely killed the legacy with the game itself being garbage. But the story itself, I'm just whatever. But if it was at least a good story and a good game, people would play it and maybe not feel the live service stuff, but people would play it and say good things about it. But when you have a whack story and it's live service on top of that, and it's not properly supported, because a lot of these devs are single player devs, they don't know how to make these kind of games, bro. The people who are making those games stay making those games. And to make a traditionally single-player studio, with all they've done has been single-player games, try to transition in that. And the constant retooling, rebooting, restarting projects, both Warner Brothers Montreal and Rocksteady, it took them almost a decade to put out a new game. The last game from WB Montreal was Batman Arkham Origins. That was 2013. Their next game was Gotham Knights. That was what, 2022? 2022, right? It took you almost a decade, 9 years to put out a new game? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was the first new Rocksteady game since Batman Arkham Knight in 2015. They did a little VR thing afterwards, but last mainline game. It took you almost a decade for a new title. And before anyone comes in here saying, well, game development is difficult, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we understand that. Let's just stop using that as a blanket excuse to cover up for mediocrity and addressing the situation and calling it for what it is. Like, these are talented developers working on these games. But for whatever reason, studio heads or the people above at WB Games just weren't satisfied for whatever they were doing. Like, oh no, we need them to do this. We have to do that. We're going to make you reboot the game. There was a Damian Wayne Batman game in development at freaking Warner Brothers Montreal. Josh Keaton was going to be in the game. And it just never happened. Like, what the fuck? We could have gotten 2 games. We could have gotten that. And then, wow. But what we've gotten since then is just 2 disaster releases. We have a mediocre Gotham Knights game. We have a damn near unplayable Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. The Rocksteady co-founders have left. The studio's bleeding talent. So that's already one big L. Then you have the multiverses nonsense that went down. All you had to do was make a competitor to Smash Bros. Just release it, continue to update it. Like those kind of games you can update and people will come back and play. Nah, we're going to do some fuck shit and then bring it back with a 2.0 and just boom. Hogwarts Legacy was a big success for them. Awesome game. You know, they're working on a sequel for that, which is good. That's what we need to see. But then they come out with Hogwarts Quidditch Champions, which is a big fucking L. Huge L. To the point where I almost forgot that game existed until I went to go look up the news today. I was like, wow, they really did this. It should have just been a mode in Hogwarts Legacy. It really should have been. But then you get to the biggest stain on WB Games' legacy. Wonder Woman canceled. Monolith Productions shut down. To me, this bothered me. Like, most stuff in gaming doesn't really affect me anymore because it's just whatever, the good and the bad. But this genuinely, legitimately bothered me. Because I love Wonder Woman. I love Diana. And the fact that we are finally getting something about Wonder Woman that wasn't another movie was great. Because Wonder Woman, I feel as a character, has not really been tapped into. Like, she could be a huge deal. She's part of the Trinity for a reason. We should be getting Wonder Woman animated series. We should be getting more Wonder Woman movies. We should be getting more Wonder Woman games. And when they revealed this in 2021, I was like, holy shit. A Wonder Woman game from the guys who did the Shadow of War. Those games? Holy fuck, bro. Oh, that's another game that WB Games messed with. They did all the freaking microtransactions in the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. And they tarnished that game's reputation. You know? And wow. You see, isn't it crazy? I'm just trying to like, I'm just reminded of these things. You know, so we're getting a Wonder Woman game from these guys, and they said it's going to have the Nemesis system. I was like, what? I don't know how the Nemesis system is going to work for Diana. Like, who the fuck is she going to fight that there needs to be a Nemesis? You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. I'm excited about this. They announced this at the end of 2021. I was amped up for it. And we go like 2-3 years without really seeing anything, which concerns me. But that's just gaming in general. They announce things years out, primarily for recruitment purposes. Also because games take a long time to develop. I get it. It sucks, but I get it. But 3 years without showing anything. Like, they announced that game and then Star Wars Eclipse, which was a Star Wars Choose Your Own Adventure from Quantic Dream. The guys who did Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain. Unfortunately, they did Beyond Two Souls, but they also did Fahrenheit. They were working on a Star Wars game, which is awesome. I think they both announced them at the same show. And we haven't seen anything of that other than hearing behind the scenes rumblings. Yeah, that game is not coming together well. But then we start hearing some reports a few weeks back that they had restarted development of Wonder Woman last year, or in 2023. and they had to sink another $100 million into it. Now, we didn't really know the exact reasoning as to why, but we just assumed that it was just developmental struggles. But investing another $100 million, that's not a number that people throw around lightly. $100 million is a AAA game and multiple smaller projects. To have to reinvest that into one game that we assume the budget was already going to be 150, 200, that's a lot, man. That's like a movie budget. And that was that. We didn't hear anything else until Jason Schreier broke the story that WB Games is shutting down 3 studios. They're shutting down the team that did Multiverses. They're shutting down, I think, one of their support studios, and they're shutting down Monolith. Canceling the Wonder Woman game indefinitely. Now, we also did get an update from regarding this entire situation. One of my homeboys, Okami13 on Twitter, he broke everything down from the original. There's like a YouTube video, but he broke everything down, so we're gonna read it on stream. So the Wonder Woman game was going to have a nemesis system, but in reverse, where you would talk to people and befriend them as allies. This was eventually scrapped when it was rebooted. I'm going to read everything first, and then we're going to break everything down. Wonder Woman began production in June of 2021, but was later rebooted at the end of 2023. The game changed directors, and it became more of a traditional God of War style action-adventure game. Monolith reportedly wasn't interested in making another Lord of the Rings game. After their new original IP was canceled in 2021, Monolith's entire leadership team and many developers quit. They were forced to work on Wonder Woman while rebuilding their staff and leadership team at the same time, which is an impossible situation. Many of the ex-Monolith team formed Cliffhanger Games with EA, and they're now working on that new Black Panther game. Wonder Woman was canceled due to 2024 being a horrible year for WB Games. I wonder why. They lost $200 million on Suicide Squad and another $100 million between Multiverses and Hogwarts Quidditch Champions. This plus the reboot is what led to the cancellation, closure of the studio, and the ousting of their CEO. Monolith devs had no knowledge of the studio closure. They learned about it on Tuesday, shortly before we did. All right. Every single bullet point that I just read you guys is just some different level of fuckery. I don't even know where to begin. So let's start at the top. Wonder Woman was going to have a nemesis system, but in reverse, where you would talk to people and befriend them as allies. I don't know how that would work in this context. I know the nemesis system is a very intricate, it's an interesting mechanic. It's probably one of the more innovative things we've seen in gaming as of late. But how that would work in reverse, you talk to people and they just become your allies. So aren't you just recruiting them? Is that no different than just getting like a pawn and recruiting it? You feel me? Like, what's the benefit of you talking to someone and they become your friend? Like, how is the nemesis system work? Because the best part about the nemesis system is there was this hierarchy in your rogues gallery, where let's say you're just fighting a normal peon or whatever. If that peon kills you, he gets promoted up the ranks and he becomes more stronger. He gets better gear. He has like minions that serve under him. He might get his own outpost. And when that happens, when you die, it's like you see the world sort of, the passage of time affects everything. So there are some situations where the guy you promoted kills another leader and he takes over his base. And the enemies always remember you when you go back and fight them. And one of the really cool things about the Nemesis system was the enemies remembered certain things that you did. So if you were to go into a base and you tackled the base a certain way, but you ended up dying, they might fortify the base in a way that can prevent you from doing certain things like that. You know, certain things that you would do don't have the same impact if you try to do it the second time around. That's what made it really fucking interesting, and why I was excited to see them do more with it. Because that's like one of those moments in gaming where you're like, oh, this is really fucking cool. I've never seen a game do something like this. It's challenging your perception of what is possible in a game. So to see that grow and expand with other games would have been awesome. But what's really stupid is that WB Games copyrighted the Nemesis system. They have a patent on this. They closed the studio that invented this game mechanic, And they have the patent up until 2036. 2036. My nigga, I'm gonna be in my 40s by the time this thing is up for grabs. 2036. For a system that they could have built upon with not just their game, they could have been like, you know what? For the next Batman game, we're going to expand the rogues gallery. It's not just about having Joker or Bane or Harley Quinn. We're going to put in like the C-listers and the D-listers. And we're going to make like Arkham World. And we're going to see how these C-listers expand and how they grow and they rise the ranks. And maybe there's some sub-stories that go across, that are attached to these characters. They could have done some cool fucking shit, dude. But no. They don't do that. So they eventually scrapped it when it was rebooted. So one of the main cool features that would have been in this Wonder Woman game, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, and now it's scrapped when they rebooted it. Okay. The game began production in June of 2021. They announced this game at the end of 2021. So they didn't have anything, bro. Bro, they really had nothing when they announced this shit. That's a red flag. And again, I know sometimes they announce stuff for recruitment purposes to build the studio, which is probably why everything here is starting to add up. But that's asinine. I think, yeah, definitely that was the reason they announced it, for recruitment purposes, because their original IP that they were working after Shadow of War came out 2017, 2018, around there. So they probably worked on a new IP for a solid 2.5 years, 3 years, and that got canceled. So WB Games has this track record of studios working on games for 2 to 3 years, canceling them, and then either putting them on something else they don't want to do, or making the development that much more turbulent. WB Montreal, Rocksteady, and now Monolith Productions. Oh, I'm starting to see a pattern here, my friends. The game changed directors when it was rebooted at the end of 2023, and it became more of a traditional action style God of War game. Which, I mean, I'm not opposed to, because I think that if you were to make a Wonder Woman game that's like God of War 2018, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that's cool. How the Nemesis system would work into that kind of game, I do not know. But maybe they're talking about just making it more of a traditional God of War game from the 2000s, possibly. They didn't want to work on a new Lord of the Rings game, which is fair, you know, after how turbulent Shadow of War's development was. And I mean, maybe that was just, they didn't want to tell any more of those stories. But the entire leadership quit in 2021 alongside developers. And see, this is the thing a lot of people, they need to realize when it comes down to studios. Guys, I love BioWare. I love the games BioWare has put out. Love the Mass Effect franchise. I love KOTOR 1. But the thing about BioWare, I know a lot of people are excited for this new Mass Effect because they're bringing back, like, oh, some of the classic talent who worked on the series, blah, blah, blah. It don't mean shit when a lot of the people that gave us those games aren't there anymore. Either they've retired from the industry, they moved on to different studios. So just because you have the name of a company on it, that doesn't mean it's going to be the same workforce on it. The only time I would ever accept that is if it's a studio come from Japan. Like if Capcom comes out with a new Devil May Cry game, sure, they might have different people attached to it, but it's fucking Capcom. Like they know how to make a Devil May Cry game. You know? Those type of examples work fine. But if it's a studio that maybe fundamentally changed and they shifted their entire point, like Naughty Dog, for example. Naughty Dog tried working on a new Jak and Daxter game. It just wasn't working out with them because the Naughty Dog of that era, the Uncharted's and The Last of Us, is not equipped to work on a Jak and Daxter game. It's not. And if they did, it'd be very different. People would not like it. And that's fair. That's why you need to get other studios to work on those things, like Sanzaru Games. Sanzaru Games worked on a pretty decent Sly Cooper game. They just never did anything else with it because I think it didn't sell that well. Which is a shame because it was a decent game. But a lot of the developers and the leadership team leaving, and you have to reboot a game at the same time, that's asking for trouble. That is the biggest uphill battle for a AAA game, no less. Oh my god, that is hell on earth. they're forced to work on it while rebuilding a team and leadership at the same time. That's not going to happen, bro. That explains why we didn't see it for years. Because they probably had like 6 niggas in the janitor working on it. It's crazy. Many of the ex-Monolith team formed Cliffhanger Games with EA and are now working on a new Black Panther game. That gets me excited. Because if EA is hands off, which I know is very, it's a oxymoron in and of itself. But if EA is hands off and they let them cook, dare I say, like they did with Respawn, then, you know, we might be in for something good. We might be in for something good, because if they could just they can bring that ingenuity and that expertise to work on a Black Panther game, we might be in for something. We'll see. Wonder Woman was canceled due to 2024 being a horrible year. They lost $300+ million, and retooling the development was also very expensive. And they ousted the CEO, and the devs had no knowledge. The devs not knowing anything about it is fucked up. But unfortunately, that's where we live in Western game development. People getting fired and figuring it out the day of, not knowing about this months in advance, is just fucking ridiculous, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy how, you know, as someone who I've worked jobs before where, and I don't feel bad saying this, but I worked a job before where literally they closed, they shut down the business operations, and we found out the day of. And the only way we found out was through an email saying that the operations have ceased and this job is done. And we were all looking at ourselves like, what the fuck, bro? Like, no 2-week heads up, no months in advance, none of that shit, bro. I'm not saying all companies do that, but a lot of companies have done that. Dude, it's fucking asinine, dude. It's insane. None of us knew about it. Not even the head GM knew about it at the job site. It's fucking crazy. But that's just the world we live in. So, this whole situation, man, it's just another day in the video game industry. It really is, man. But to the degree where we're at now, we need to get WB Games the fuck out of gaming, bro. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive because, like, we don't want them to take Rocksteady and all these studios with them, because if they're gone, that, like, what's going to happen to those studios? But, man, where we're at right now, them trying to just focus on big IP. And what is big IP? Big IP is Harry Potter and Batman. And then Mortal Kombat when they're not fucking shit up with that one. But it's Harry Potter and it's Batman. The days of us getting, there was a Flash game in development. There's a Flash game apparently in development that they were going to pitch, and they canceled it because the movie bombed. See, even in situations like this, where we could be divorced of the cinematic universes, we're still getting shit affected by it. No Flash game, no Wonder Woman game. You know what we about to get now? We about to get a fucking Batman Arkham Asylum remake. About to be the most boneless thing in existence, but a lot of us are going to be like, you know what? It's better than nothing. Like, it's better than this. Arkham Asylum gave me feels when I played it 20 years ago. It's going to be good, bro. And then maybe if that game is good, we might get a Batman Arkham Beyond with Terry McGinnis in the role. You know, the game that we should have done after Arkham Knight when Kevin Conroy was still with us. I know we can't play that game because it's not like it would have happened, but that would have been the time to do it. That would have been the time to do it. Your next game should have been Batman Arkham Beyond. It's different enough because of the setting of it. And you could still have old man Batman played by Kevin Conroy. He did this shit before. It's just disappointing, man. It's so sad. But what's up to all the people who've been joining in between? I know it's been a damper stream since we've been talking about this shit. But it's really sad, bro. Like, now what are we going to have to do? Like, Rocksteady, is Rocksteady even capable? Are they equipped to make a new Batman game that's good? I don't know. The founders of the studio and the people that gave us those games are gone. So unless their proteges are there, or if they have a good enough vision to create a new title, I don't fucking know, man. We might just get another by the numbers Batman Arkham game. I don't know, bro. Like, this is why people are so cynical. This is why people are so cynical when it comes to this shit, bro. Because in the gaming industry, you make a big successful game, you're laid off. Your game bombs, you're laid off. So it just doesn't fucking matter anymore. It doesn't matter, man. It really don't. It's a miracle these days that any games get put out as is. But fundamentally, something has got to change in the gaming industry, man. Fundamentally, something has to change. Like, this goes far beyond course correcting because of COVID mass hirings. This is bleak, dude. I'm not saying that we're heading towards a crash like the one of the 80s, but we're going to be getting fewer and fewer games, which for some people say that might be a good thing. But to me, the less games that are coming out means there's less opportunities for new and creative stuff. Like, honestly, I'm going to keep it a stack. And y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. But I sincerely, I'm hinging the future of the video games industry to give us experiences that we've played like before that are video fucking games. I'm hinging all my bets on Nintendo right now, dude. Like, I look at the Nintendo Switch. I look at the output of games that it's had in its life cycle. I look at the variety of it. I look at everything associated with it. I look at like how healthy shit is for that company. And I'm like, if they could replicate this with the Switch 2, where we get multiple Xenoblade games, where we get multiple Fire Emblem games, where we get multiple Pokemon and Mario and Zelda and all of these things, and they're just great games, no issues, no strings attached, I'm fine with that, dude. Like, I'm genuinely fine with that. It's like a Nintendo game comes out like Splatoon 3, and it's just great, bro. It's just great. And they have all these other games that come out, and they're just fucking great, bro. And meanwhile, over here, we got to deal with, oh god, everybody else that's not named Capcom or Atlas or RGG Studios. We got to deal with, oh, please, hopes and prayers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Like, the worst criticism that I can give Nintendo is the same criticism I've been giving Nintendo for years. But it's... the worst criticism does not supersede the fact that, like, their games and all that stuff is still really fucking good. Could they be better with how they handle other franchises? Like, can we get a Kid Icarus game? Can we get a new F-Zero? Absolutely. But when I'm looking at everything else that they have done... if we're talking about release cadence and video games, Nintendo does not disappoint compared to like almost any other publisher that isn't Capcom and isn't Atlas and isn't Sega. You know, like maybe it's a Japanese thing. Because Square Enix was good for a while until they just decided to release 40 games in a month. Like, do you guys remember that year when Square Enix released like Octopath Traveler 2, Triangle Strategy, the Diofield Chronicles, a new Tactics Ogre game, Final Fantasy Origins, Paradise shit, all those fucking games, Final Fantasy 16, and then I think Rebirth was like one of the last ones. They did Forspoken, they did a bunch of shit, and then a lot of those games were good, but because they were all appealing to the same demographic, no one's gonna go out there and buy all that shit. Like, they gotta, like, hold on, bro, hold on. These are all like 40, 50-hour games. And then it puts so much more pressure on Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Rebirth to make up for those game failures. But that's not fair to Rebirth and 16. If you just spread those games out and you were realistic with your expectations and you market them properly, it wouldn't be a case. Like Neo, The World Ends With You. Like, that game came out. Like, there's still people I come across who didn't even know that there's a sequel to that shit. They're like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, bro. It wasn't bad either. You know? But they just, man. It's crazy, bro. Square Enix has not made a really great game since Dragon Quest XI. No. They did Octopath Traveler. That was cool. They did Rebirth. Rebirth, despite my gripes with the fucking Costa del Sol and that cat Amazon warehouse package simulator, Rebirth is an exceptional game. Exceptional. One of the best. But, man, it's a bleak time, man. It's a bleak time. RGG Studios got it right, because instead of just like constantly remaking a game when they put out a new one, they're just like, listen, we got the groundwork, we got the groundwork, we laid the groundwork, we have the foundation. Let's just focus on the story, the characters, and some new features. That type of shit. And I like it, because that's how we get Yakuza Like a Dragon. That's how we get Yakuza as a turn-based game. And then that's how we also get Lost Judgment. That's how we also get the new Yakuza pirate game in Hawaii. Like, realistic, bro. Realistic AA game development. And they're all great games too, man. I mean, it's hard trying to juggle all of them, but they're successful enough because Yakuza fans are like, okay, good. You release these games once every year, and I'm fine with that. Like, we had Yakuza Pirate Hawaii this game for the year. Last year, we had Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The year before that, we had Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. Like, they're perfect. And the games that they released, those little side games like The Man Who Erased His Name and the Pirate Yakuza game, they don't overstay their welcome, bro. They're like half the time in terms of like game length, in terms of story, but they have so much side content you can do for fun, bro. That's how shit should be done, man. Like, RGG Studios leads the way. Will we get another Lost Judgment game? I don't know, man. I really don't, because there's just a lot of rights issues with that, because, you know, the guy who works on it, he's like an idol, and it's a more difficult game for them to put out than their own shit, which I get. I mean, look how long it took Judgment to come on PCs, specifically because of the way Japan handles idols and likenesses and something about PC. It's so weird, bro. But yeah, Project Century. I can't wait to see what that is. I cannot wait, dude. And they're working on a new Virtua Fighter? Like, come the fuck on, bro. This studio's crazy. Goat Studio. But what's up to everybody who's been watching the stream, who've been joining in? I appreciate you guys so much. I have a lot of super chats I have to keep up with, so I'm going to catch up on those right now. If you guys are enjoying the stream, hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. Let's go ahead and catch up on some of the super chats. J-Fam, who's been a member for 38 months of the Spirit Detective tier, he says, shout out to you. Let's have a wonderful stream tonight. Yes, it has been a great comeback stream, you guys. I haven't really been derailed whatsoever. This is awesome. Talk about your boy coming back. Your boy coming back with the freaking elevation. He elevated himself, my friends. DMZ with a $5 super chat. Neo, what are your thoughts on Doom the Dark Ages? I'm pretty hyped because it releases on my birthday. Well, first off, getting a game that comes out near your birthday is awesome, dude. Like, do you guys have any examples of a game or a movie that came out around your birthday, or maybe like around a graduation or a celebration? Like, for me, one that I'm really looking forward to. Well, you know, there's a lot of things that come out in July. So I'm a mid-July baby, okay? I'm a mid-July baby. And I've had a lot of good things come out around them. Like Fire Emblem Three Houses, I think came out 3 days after my birthday or within that week. That was awesome. The new Superman movie is coming out around my birthday, which I can't fucking wait. You know, Christopher Nolan, he releases not all of his movies, but almost all of them release around like the summertime. And Oppenheimer came out around my birthday. I love that. The Odyssey is coming out around my birthday. Cannot wait for that. So yeah, I love that shit. But Doom the Dark Ages, I'm trying my best not to get too hyped about it, because I'm replaying both Doom games right now. Because Doom is a perfect game for me where I just don't want to be too invested in a story and pay attention to the cutscenes. Like, I just put some Doom in the background and then I have like a podcast playing, and I love Doom because they're fun fucking games to run through, bro. Whether you're playing like the OGs or the new ones, they're great. I'm going through Doom 2016 right now, which feels so archaic by comparison to Eternal. But it's good, man. Like, watching that Doom deep dive gameplay was phenomenal, man. It's checking all the boxes, bro. You know, you adding a fucking shield and brand the shield. Like, they're really expanding on the combat. We got fucking dragons in this bitch, bro. We gonna be flying. They're doing all the cool shit. Like, Doom, when you look at Doom is just sick. Like, if you could ever describe rad for a video game, it's Doom. And yeah, man, I'm excited. You know, they have yet to disappoint. They really haven't, man. So I'm ready for this shit. I'm ready for Doom. Can't wait. And it's on Game Pass, baby. We got Don Otaku, who's been a member for the past 21 months of the... No, I already read that one. Him slandering Digimon, him being very, you know, Don Otaku. Let's see. We have a $2 super chat coming in from Flame. I was playing WoW until I got my 360 in 2010. Oh, so you were a PC gamer. Oh, wow, Flame. I did not know that Flame was one of them boys. I didn't know that. I thought Flame was like a crazy X-bot this whole time, but nah, we got some lore deep dives. Flame was a PC gamer. Holy shit. All right, let's see. Who else we got in here? We got Yadogami with a $5 super chat. How do you feel about that new Devil May Cry show? Johnny Young Bosch was Nero, but now he's playing Dante. People are hating on him for that. I think people get used to him. I've seen people hating on the animation and the dialogue. So I wasn't really too invested in another Devil May Cry anime just because I'm like, I want a new game, bro. Like, yeah, an anime is cool, sure. But if you're not giving me a game on top of that, it's like, what am I going to do with this? But you know, it's from Adi Shankar, and, you know, he did the Castlevania stuff, and that was good. So when he's doing Devil May Cry, I'm like, that's up his alley. It's like cool, stylish shit. Okay. I saw that trailer and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, bro. I'm here for it. People hating on the dialogue is weird to me because Devil May Cry as a franchise is, I'm not saying the dialogue is bad. It's not, but it's not its forte. It's just cool people doing cool shit. And that's what the show was kind of evoking. It's just going to be way more dialogue than people are accustomed to outside of like the iconic one-liners, you know, like I need more power. Animation. So the animation is something where, again, like going back to what I was saying on previous streams, there's something about like this default Netflix animation we're seeing where even though it looks good for these Netflix originals, I'm not talking about stuff that they do with Japanese studios, but I'm talking like stuff like Castlevania. Castlevania looks all right. It looks good, but they all have like this, I don't know if it's like the same wire frame or the same, like they all went to the same school of animation, but it doesn't come off as good as it should be. Like the Witcher anime was the same thing. It's not that they look low budget because this Devil May Cry show looks good, but I want all of this Netflix anime to look as good as Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And I know that's an acclaimed Japanese studio, but Netflix has got the money. Put it into some of these studios, man. Like, why are some of these series looking so budget by comparison? Like, Invincible should look like one of the greatest animated series of all time, but it just doesn't for whatever reason. And for the time that they're spending in between these seasons does not make sense. But regardless of that, I was really digging the trailer, digging the music, I'm digging the vibes. Johnny Young Bosch as Nero is jarring to me. I love Johnny as an actor. I think he's going to do good as Dante. But man, it just... Bro, you're Nero! It's not like a case of, okay, Troy Baker plays the Joker and Troy Baker plays Batman. They both sound radically different because Joker and Batman sound different. Troy Baker voiced Batman in the Telltale series, but he was also Joker in Batman Arkham Origins. And it's not a big deal to us because he's a great actor. They sound different enough. And also it's two separate universes and there was some time apart between them. Nero is still fresh. Nero is still fresh for us. And then you combine that with Johnny Young Bosch not having the greatest range, but that's not everything to an actor. You know, acting is acting. Range is secondary. But man, it's another thing entirely when you can clock it. When you watch that trailer, you're like, oh, that's Johnny, bro. But man, Johnny as Dante? For a young Dante, okay. But what happens if they introduce Nero? Is Johnny going to be playing Nero too at some point? Is he going to be like, yeah, I'm Johnny Young Bosch. I play Nero in the games and Dante in the anime. And then here's this guy who plays Nero in the games who's not Johnny. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But I think it'll be good. I'll get used to it after a while. I mean, I'm a Miss Ruben. I love Ruben Langdon, but I don't think he's going to be playing Dante anymore. Word on the street is that there's like some controversy with him behind the scenes and all this crazy stuff and blah, blah, blah. And that's why he didn't come back. Maybe. I don't fucking know. All I know is he's on good terms with Johnny, but I don't know if he's going to come back if they eventually do a Devil May Cry 6. I don't even know if Devil May Cry 6 is going to happen. But it's funny. This whole situation is fucking hilarious, man. Gabe said, I'll show you my whipped cream. Hey, yo. Down Otaku with the $5 super chat. First off, sales is least of the reasons why Pokemon is better than Midgimon. He's talking about Digimon. Y'all can have graphics and performance, but Digimon don't got no sauce. Man, listen. You say that, but them Digimon games are going to be better game experiences across the board. That new Digimon game, clock it, is going to be a better game, and there are going to be less complaints with that game than that new Pokemon game. Because y'all niggas are going to be buying this Pokemon game. You're going to say it looks like ass. You're going to say it runs like ass. You're going to say that this game should be better than what it was, but you're still going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's the Pokemon cycle. It's never going to change. It's never going to change. And you have to accept that. But what I hate is Pokemon fans can never be honest about this shit. If you come out there and you say, listen, I buy Pokemon games because there's really nothing like Pokemon out there, and I'm part of the problem. Cool. I accept that. That's fine. We all have games like that where we're part of the problem every now and then, you know? But in the case of the Pokemon fans is y'all can never be honest. Like, I be watching some of these Nintendo YouTubers, and I don't know if it's because they just don't want to ruin their relationship with Nintendo or their fan base, but they're coming out there and the worst thing they'll say is that it wasn't the best. Y'all will never say that this shit looks like garbage, bro, or it runs like ass. But y'all got all the critiques. Let a PlayStation or an Xbox game come out and the frame rate goes from 60 frames to 54 frames for a half a second. Y'all niggas would be saying some dumb shit. But Pokemon games running at 14 frames per second, looking like the Great Mighty Pooh from Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64, and y'all just like, well, you know, I just wish Game Freak put a little bit more time in their games. Like, y'all just this is why white kids get to slam the door in their parents' faces and there's no repercussions. It's because of Pokemon fans. It's because of Pokemon fans being too lenient on shit. Instead of voting with your wallets, instead of slapping that kid back on their face, instead of getting the belt out, you Pokemon fans, I can't, bro. I can't. I left this side of me years ago. But I gotta bring this shit back, bro. I'm tired of these niggas, man. I'm tired of these dudes. The Pokemon fandom, and all of y'all are whites. All of y'all, not to disparage the whites. I love my white people, but a lot of y'all are white. A lot of Nintendo fans are white as fuck, and they do this shit. Everything makes sense, bro. Everything makes fucking sense, bro. Everything makes sense. And then you got the odd duck like Don Otaku in the mix. Because, you know, you always got to have a black guy there. You got to have a black guy. I'm just saying. Correlation doesn't always equal causation, but there is a compelling case when how Pokemon fans are not as harsh on the franchise versus how white kids talk back to their parents. I'm just saying, bro. Godzilla Tommy, what's up, Bob? I'm just saying, that's not Neo crashing out. I'm trying to enlighten you guys so you don't crash out like Don Otaku. That man Don Otaku is like, you guys ever see the meme of the little girl eating the onion and she thinks it's an apple and she's just like begrudgingly eating it because like she just can't eat it. She can't stop eating it for whatever reason. And she's just like, this is good. That's Don Otaku, man. That's Don Otaku. Every time he boot up Don Otaku booting up a Pokemon game on stream, that shit, the frame rate tanks at the main menu, and he's just like, sorry guys, my stream is acting up knowing damn well it's the game. That nigga's a liar, bro. He is a liar, and I can't stand him. Golly, bro. This is a fun stream tonight. Okay, Don Otaku with the second $5 super chat. Second, I only cap for Pokemon Legends Arceus. Every other Pokemon game on Switch can kick rocks. Also, you endured Vaseline 25 frames per second Xenoblade 2 like I did. I ain't trying to hear it. Nah, but I slander Xenoblade. Bro. I will always slander Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in that piss poor resolution and that frame rate. But you know what? That was the only Xenoblade game like that. You have about 40 other Pokemon games that run just as bad, if not worse, Don. I'm being real. Don will talk with another $5 super chat. Fourth, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a good co-op game. This man is full of the bad takes tonight. This man Don Otaku, This man Don Otaku was over here saying that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a great game. Y'all just hating. We all know what's so fucking funny. This man Don Otaku tried to play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. A week later, he was sitting in that lobby for 18 minutes trying to find another player. Man couldn't run a full set because there was nobody playing the game. Talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Oh, they killed those servers all right because ain't nobody playing that fucking game. Crazy. Man said Boomerang and Harley gameplay was A1. I don't know about that, big dog. Sharks was Deathstroke was boring. So the black guy you got issues with. That's what I'm pulling from this Okay. All right. We have to work twice as hard to get half as much. But okay, Don Otaku, hating on your own people. Okay, I think that's enough. That's enough Don Otaku roasting for one night. We'll see. Julian Phoenix, who's been a member for the past 20 months. Appreciate you, my bro. Bro, can you review Captain America 4, Dragon Ball Daima, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and Yakuza Amazon? Please rip Yakuza apart. Well, I can't fully review Yakuza Amazon because I only watched like an episode and I turned it the fuck off, bro. I'm being real, bro. Most of the time, I'll give a show 3 episodes, but if you're not hooking me... But in the case of that Yakuza show, bro, off rip, I knew that the characters were not acting like the fucking characters, bro. Like, and I looked at the guy who they cast as Kiryu, and listen, I'm all for having a pretty nigga on screen and seeing some of that look cute. But Kiryu is not traditionally cute. Kiryu is like this stern looking dude. We just looking at me like, but there's like an endearing quality to him. And as you grow to learn about Kiryu, you grow to love him, and it's a beautiful story. I look at this dude, and I'm like, nobody is going to take you fucking seriously, bro. It's like getting some dude... Bro, it's like getting some dude from One Direction and you want him to be the fucking Punisher or whatever. Like, I'm looking at that like, what? Like, hell no, bro. Not everybody could be a Robert Pattinson and play a Twilight sparkly vampire and then give us Batman. Like, no. You are not that guy. And I see this dude they got for Kiryu. He is not that guy, bro. And I read up a little bit on what happened in the series later, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good with this shit. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, on the other hand, I have watched a lot of it. I haven't watched the last like 2 episodes, so I need to watch those. But honestly, listen, you guys know me. I'm very cynical about my Spider-Man shit. Like, every time we get a good run of Spider-Man stuff, something happens. It always happens. But this is good. This is good. It's basically, the best way I can describe it is it's like what the MCU origin for Spider-Man should have been. Like, if we had to go back in time and do it properly, this is kind of how I would have done the show. Because it's focusing more on Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff with Spider-Man characters. And sure, the ghost of the Tom Holland Spider-Man is still in the room, but he's a bit more layered by comparison. So it's becoming more of its own thing rather than just being like something that's MCU adjacent. I like what they're doing. They're taking some pretty big swings as far as like differences. I mean, you saw this in the trailer. It's not a big deal, but Peter does have a relationship with Norman Osborn very early on, and how that plays into the future is going to be fascinating. A couple of notable Spider-Man characters have different origins, and they are related to Peter when he's younger, so that's interesting. But they're laying the groundwork for those characters to become who they are in a very heartfelt way that's going to be soul crushing. It's going to be bad. They're doing it with one character, and I can already see it. If they stick the landing on it, it's going to break everybody's heart. And it's good. You know, it's good. I think that it definitely has some issues. Like, I don't think that the action is particularly as good as previous Spider-Man cartoons. The animation is a little wonky. I would have preferred them to do something more like, you know, again, I just want something more like traditionally animated rather than this weird, like, not CG thing, but it is CG that they're going for. The character models of Peter Parker in particular, oh man, Peter Parker's character model is phenomenal, fantastic. Like, he looks like he's pulled out of like 60 Spider-Man, but he's in 2020. It's crazy. His character design is great. Norman Osborn's character design is great. Everybody else is kind of like a toss-up. Like, some of them are good, others feel like you're just above NPC, bro. But I like it. I like where they're going with this. Again, I still have 2 more episodes to finish, but I have a feeling they're gonna stick the landing for the first season. Dragon Ball Daima. So Dragon Ball Daima, I watched the first couple episodes when it was in theaters. I actually went with some homies here, and I liked it. It was classic Dragon Ball in terms of like what they were going for. It's more of a whimsical adventure. And then I kept watching the episodes as they came out. I just kind of lost interest, you guys. It's not that it's bad, but Daima's... And here's the thing. I know a lot of people are saying that they want like Dragon Ball Super level action and Dragon Ball Super level stakes and all that. That's not what I'm looking for out of Daima. Daima's just not doing... It's not doing enough to keep me invested. Like it's a cool watch if I need something to put on a weekend, but it's not gripping me where I want to see what happens next, you know? I know they did the whole Super Saiyan 4 shit and everything. I mean, that's cool, but okay, that's not enough to make me more invested in the show. Maybe it's one of those things where it's building towards something. Later down the road, it might get better, but I don't know. I just don't have the time for certain series to build towards something in the hope that they're better rather than them actually building towards something and you could see it within like the first season. You feel me? So, I mean, yeah, that's basically my my thought on that. Oh, there's no music in the background. I'm trying to find like, oh, here we go. Yeah, we'll just play some random Zelda music with a campfire ambiance. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Wait, where's the chat? Chat, here you are. Oh, Captain America 4. So Captain America 4, I'm actually debating on doing a whole video on because, again, similar to Wonder Woman, that's just a movie that bothers me the more time that passes. Oh no, you're good, Maddie. Welcome to the stream. I saw Captain America 4, and I'll be real, I didn't like it, you guys. I didn't. Not for the reasons that a lot of these bozos online are saying, you know, all the racism attached to it, and it's not my Captain America, blah, blah, blah. That stuff is dumb. Sam Wilson is Captain America, end of story, end of discussion. My biggest problem with this movie is that it does absolutely nothing to service the character of Sam Wilson. It does absolutely nothing innovative, absolutely nothing of substance. There's no value in this movie. There is nothing in this film that is even remotely has some sauce attached to it. This is the most by the numbers, formulaic, factory output from Marvel that I've seen in a while. And that's saying a lot considered we've seen some really bad movies like Thor Love and Thunder and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. But while those movies were bad, this movie is just so nothing. There's nothing that's added to this story that we haven't seen already in previous Marvel movies and now TV shows. So first things first, this is not a Captain America movie. This is not a Captain America movie whatsoever. It does nothing to further the enjoyment of the franchise. This movie right here is an Incredible Hulk sequel. It's involving primarily Hulk characters from Thunderbolt Ross. No one's seen this movie. I don't care. The Leader, Betty Ross. It's dealing with some leftover plot threads from the Eternals. Where is the Captain America shit in this? The only Captain America thing that happens is that one of Sam's friends gets framed for something. That's literally the only thing related to Captain America. Nothing whatsoever. And every single thing that this movie does, every single plot beat, every single story contrivance that they interject in this movie, because there's a lot of contrivances in this film, is stuff that they're trying to pull from better MCU projects. Like conspiracies within the government. Oh, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Having to save your friend who's been wrongly accused of a thing. Oh, Captain America Civil War. Sam may or may not be worthy of the shield. Oh, Captain America was in that series. It was called Falcon and Winter Soldier. All three of these projects starred Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie. And what we're getting in this movie is basically just boneless bootleg versions of those plots without any of the sauce or the substance that made those films great. Like, whoa, there's a conspiracy in the government and there's this guy, the leader, he's pulling the strings behind the scenes this whole time. Nigga, for a villain that was almost 20 years ago that wasn't even a villain in that movie, you just brought him back? He was pulling the strings with Thunderbolt Ross. Thunderbolt Ross, the guy who's only basically made cameos in the MCU for the past decade. Why do we care? Thunderbolt Ross, the character who has more history with Bruce Banner? Thunderbolt Ross's relationship with his daughter, who has history with Bruce fucking Banner? But Sam Wilson has to be the one to go up against a Hulk villain number 1, a Hulk villain number 2, instead of the fucking Hulk? And I don't care that it's because Universal has the rights to the Hulk and they want to... No. Marvel is the most successful movie franchise on planet Earth. They could negotiate shit and put out a movie with the Hulk if they wanted to. But they didn't. So what do they do to tie up these loose plot threads? Let's put it in a Captain America movie, and doing so, we're going to sacrifice Sam Wilson's story. This should have been a movie that exists within the same little universe that Thunderbolts occupies, that Black Widow occupies, that the Captain America movies beforehand have occupied. That's what this movie should have been. It should have been a political espionage thriller like Winter Soldier. But if you wanted to make it bombastic, you do it like Mission Impossible, where you focus on the action set pieces. Mission Impossible is now more of a Captain America franchise if we're talking like blockbuster appeal and espionage shit than what Captain America is now. With the most vanilla, boring, bland, missionary action fight sequences. And nothing in this movie services Sam Wilson. Nothing about his character grows in this movie. Every single thing that we see Sam go through, he went through in a Disney Plus show. And yeah, sure, not everybody saw Falcon and Winter Soldier. Well, nigga, what the fuck are you doing in the universe then? If your excuse to having to rehash or show shit again is because you didn't think out that people would have watched this TV show when you're doing something wrong, but you want to know what you should have done to make this work instead of having to retread stuff? You should have had this movie out a year after Falcon and Winter Soldier. This movie should have been out in 2022 while it was still fresh in people's mind that Sam was Captain America. You should have had a movie out. You should have had a better movie out, focusing on Captain America stuff and tying it to Thunderbolts. And Sharon Carter, Power Broker. What the fuck is happening there? I don't know. Like, what? Why is Sam Wilson dude, Sam Wilson not taking the serum is very admirable. I like that. Why the fuck are you having him go up against Hulk? Hulk, the dude who Iron Man in his Iron Buster suit couldn't even bring down. You're telling me that in any logical world, a person with or without the super soldier serum could go toe-to-toe with Hulk? A more stronger version of the Hulk who gets angrier the more he fights? He gets stronger the more he fights? And that fight between them was nothing. Absolutely nothing, bro. That fight was like less than 5 minutes long. And yeah, I know that's the point. He's not supposed to be able to kill him because of this and that. But, dude, the Hulk, the Red Hulk gets beaten in this movie through Naruto talk no jutsu. I shit you guys not. Instead of doing something more interesting to try to take down a Hulk, they just talk no jutsu this shit. Period, point blank. There was a throwaway line about Thaddeus Ross and his daughter and wanting to rekindle stuff, and he saw the cherry blossoms, and Sam brought up cherry blossoms, and that's it, man. That's it. That's how they took down Red Hulk. That's it, bro. Instead of building up Sam Wilson as the next Captain America and him using this movie to rebuild the Avengers. No, nothing. And then the leader of it all. I cannot stand this trend in movies where they have these leaders who at every single junction they think that they can outsmart the heroes. This man is boneless Zemo. This man is a worse version of Zemo. He somehow predicted with this big ass brain of his every single probability scenario on how these characters would move, to the point where we're not even thinking that stuff. And the characters aren't even thinking that stuff. And the writers aren't even thinking that stuff, because this movie had 5 writers on it. This movie was reshot. Like, dude. The leader is Hulk's main big bad. The leader is somebody who should have been a Hulk villain fighting Hulk. And you could have had leader in the background of like an Age of Ultron type of movie if you want to talk about characters pulling the strings, smart people pulling the strings. No, you just get the worst depiction of the leader I've ever seen in my life. He looks like shit. And then he's just taken down so easily, but not in like that cool way where it was like all a part of my plan taken down easily. You know, like when Zemo at the end of Civil War, he was just like what's his name? They killed him. Stupid. It's dumb. The Hobbit. Martin Freeman's character. Martin Freeman. What the hell's his name? What is his name? What's White Boy's name? What's his name? Well, I forgot his name. Everett Ross? Everett Ross? Is that his name? Okay, Everett Ross. Whatever, that guy. You know, Martin Freeman. He said like, oh, Zemo, your plan has failed. And Zemo had this smirk on his face. He was just like, did it? And it didn't fail because he broke the Avengers up. And him breaking the Avengers up is why Infinity War was so impactful. The leader coming in here and saying, oh, this is all part of my plan to make Ross like, oh, he's not this guy that you thought he was. So dumb, bro. Ross, this character we don't care about because they didn't bother building him up properly. We're supposed to fucking care that, oh, he's changed and he's actually changed. Like, dude, you could have done so much. You know what? I'm going to rewrite this movie. I'm going to rewrite this fucking movie right now. I'm going to rewrite this off the top of my head. I will tell you how we make this a better movie. And you know what? I'm going to impose some restrictions on myself. It's still going to be a Captain America movie with Hulk characters. You still have to have Thunderbolt Ross turn into the Hulk. The leader is still the villain. Do you want to know how you fucking change this movie to make it a more palatable movie? I'm not saying it's going to be a better movie across the board. I'm not saying it'll do better financially or review critically or whatever, but I'm saying it's going to it make more sense. This is what you do. Okay. So first things first, right? All the plot points, all those beats are the same, but this is what you do. Okay? When you get to the situation where Isaiah Bradley is at the White House and he attempts to assassinate Thunderbolt Ross, do you know what character you introduce to defend this man, this super soldier, this man who nobody else is going to defend because he tried to assassinate the president? I will tell you who you bring in. You bring in She-Hulk, attorney at law. You bring She-Hulk in to defend him. Why? Because she is a Hulk character. Oh no, Neo, you said you want to bring any more Hulk characters. No. We're working within the confines of what this movie has to be. You bring in She-Hulk to defend him. And then there's all of this discussion behind the scenes wondering, like, how could this have happened? Like, what is going on? What is going on here? And while she's in the process of obviously shit being thrown against her because there's this guy who tried to assassinate the president, it's going to be a hard case to solve. While all that is happening, you can have Sam Wilson and New Falcon try to uncover what's going on. This conspiracy, this mystery, shit is not adding up. But they know it's something to do with Ross and his past. Do you know who you bring out of retirement? You bring in Bruce Banner, the Hulk. And maybe Sam might not be able to convince her, but his cousin might be able to convince him. That's how you get the Hulk in this movie. And Hulk is going to be very much so like, I don't want to do this, blah, 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 da, da, da. But then he sees that it involves Thunderbolt Ross. That's a big thing because that was a big character for him. And then it's involving shit that happened in the Incredible Hulk. That's some stuff that he is indirectly responsible for. So you bring in Hulk characters who actually can play a role in this. Right? Hulk is now your co-lead. And all throughout the movie, it's going to be Bruce not wanting to Hulk out because he left that part of him behind. But he realized that shit is bigger than this. And you have a better handling of the leader. Thunderbolt Ross is more of a nuanced character. He's not just this, oh, I want to be better, I want to be good for Betty, blah, blah, blah. You show the skeletons in his closet. You show the skeletons in his closet, bro. You show the skeletons. What the fuck? Am I still streaming? Hold on one second, guys. Am I still here? Am I still streaming, guys? Oh, okay. For whatever reason, one of the Chrome tabs that I used to monitor like the chat and everything, it just died for whatever reason. But no, we were still streaming. Okay, perfect. I thought that the Marvel sleeper agents were trying to take me out. Like, no, this nigga's rewinding our movie. Okay, so you get Hulk in here, right? And then you explore the dynamic and the relationship between Hulk and Thunderbolt Ross. And then you bring in Betty as an actual role, not just a stupid cameo at the end of the movie, saying, I would like to take a look with you. No, fuck that shit, bro. And you show that, like, yeah, sure, Ross is trying to change, but he still has all these skeletons that he has to answer for. And then the leader comes into the mix. And then the movie ends with Bruce having to come to terms with who he is, this thing that he's been fighting from for years, you know, him being beaten by Thanos and all that, like, smart Hulk development we saw off screen. Ugh. He comes to terms with, like, the Hulk and him, they're just gonna have to get along. And that's what it is. And then you could have a Hulk versus Hulk fight, a proper fight. That's how you make this an infinitely better movie. Sure, it's not a great movie for Sam Wilson Captain America, but at least it makes a hell of a lot more sense than what they did here. A hell of a lot more sense. It's just, wow. This movie, and I take a little bit of a slight, and this is where I start getting stupid. I take a little bit of a slight to this. Because, bro, this is the first movie with a black man as Captain America in your lead role. If there was ever an opportunity to bring your A++ game, it should have been with this film. It should have been with this movie. And now what this movie is doing is that it's giving all the wrong people the ammo that they need. Oh, shit didn't work. And then you have situations where oh, Sam Wilson, Captain America, that movie didn't do good. What do we have to do now? Well, let's see. Let's bring back Steve Rogers as Captain America. Maybe he'll be in another movie. Like, dude, Anthony Mackie definitely has the chops. He has the chops to go ahead and be the next great Captain America. But they're just not giving him the great things. Hold on one second, guys. One sec. One sec. Oh, God. Nah, one of my friends is just going through something. She's okay, but it's like, yeah, no. So Sam just needed better writers, period, point blank. He got the short end of the stick, and it sucks because this is what we have, man. And that disappoints me. Like, there's so much shit in this movie that doesn't make sense, and you can obviously tell that they didn't know what they set out to make. Like, Hibachi brought it up. That short Russian chick in Captain America 4 was lame. She wasn't even Russian. She was Israeli. She was supposed to play a character in the comics called Sabra, who's like an Israeli superhero and very controversial character, especially for the time that we're in right now. But they just made her like this former Black Widow, but she had no real role in the movie. Dude, none of the side characters had any value attached to them. The only performance I saw from a side character was Carl Lumbly. His performance was great. Dude, the shit that... There's one scene in this movie, like when he gets arrested and everything, that shit tugged on my heartstrings, bro. Because he really gave it his all in that scene. He is so good in this movie. But the thing is, like, they don't do anything with him. He doesn't really have an arc. He doesn't do anything. He just shoots the president and that's it. That's it. He shoots the president and he's just in jail for the rest of the movie. There's nothing to it. You could have done something else with him struggling to come to terms with like what the government did to him all these decades ago, and having to like go to a party where the president is honoring this guy. Like there's so many things you could have done with this movie, but they don't got competent writers, bro. They have no competent, bro. Honestly, with the exception of a few projects at Marvel, they do not have any competent writers anymore. Because this is shit that we just came up with in this past like 15 minutes, bro. Past 15 minutes, man. Like, what the fuck are they even doing, bro? And I hate how people are being disingenuous about this. A lot of people are saying that, well, the movie wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been, so it's okay. It's like an 8 out of 10. I'm like, no. What bothers me is that, like, a lot of people, when these movies don't do good, they're under the assumption it's because there's hate campaigns and people don't like the movie and blah, blah, blah. Are there people hating on this movie for unjust reasons? Absolutely. But we cannot, dude, Marvel has had so many bombs recently that it's audience losing trust. A somewhat okay Captain America movie is not good anymore. It's not, man. Movie ticket prices are like $20+. And what's happening here with everything, the Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, all this shit is correlated, man. If you lose audience trust, it's going to be very hard to bring them back. And just because, this is the stupidest excuse I hear from people. Well, Marvel's in a rebuild phase. You know, phase 1 and 2 weren't perfect. Why the fuck are we comparing 2025 movies not being great to movies in 2010? We have to grow from that and expect better products. And if a movie is on par with the film that came out in 2010, that's not good. That isn't. I'm sorry, the bar has been raised. I'm sorry, a film like this can't get by anymore. We gotta get better. Dude, like, how do folks, and I hate bringing this up because, like, you would think that common sense would be common, but common sense is not common. That's the only common part about it. People that don't make sense. Back then, when we had an Iron Man 2 and a Thor: The Dark World, and, you know, the first Captain Marvel movie, they're not great movies, but they're not terrible. They're not like, you walk out that movie, you're thinking to yourself, what the fuck went wrong there? With Captain America: Brave New World, people who don't even follow film productions, they say like, yeah, I like the movie, but something fell off about it. Bro, shit is... Back then, we had 1 or 2 duds every couple of years. And the duds weren't universe shattering. Now, when you have 3+ years of not having a great track record, and then you get these bombs, bro, dude, back then, we had things like Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Avengers movies to cap off phases. We had a good Iron Man movie. Sure, the sequels might not have been great, but they weren't terrible. People still enjoyed them well enough because it furthered the story and it furthered the character. And everything else that came afterwards, you still got excited. Now, what's the good shit? Okay, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Kory. I see, when I go on my rants, you guys get your money worth. Let me answer Kory's super chat real quick because he has to go to class soon. So Kory Gryffindor with a $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Y'all know I simp for Erica Lindbeck, but after meeting the baddie Susie Young at Anime LA, she's on my simp list. Also, Xanthe Hugh is a sweetie. Met her again. That man's... that's not a simp list, my brother. That's a simp Bible. You've got everything there, my G. But no. They got some cuties. They got some cuties voicing our favorite game characters, bro. Especially Susie Young. She voices Yuffie in Final Fantasy Rebirth. She's dope. She's dope, man. But yeah, look, that man Kory Gryffindor. Like I said, Kory Gryffindor, he's collecting all these gals like the Affinity Stone Gauntlet, bro. Yes, sir. But yo, Kory, my G, you have a great time at class, my man. I'll speak to you soon. Let me go ahead and like some of the other super chats real quick, and then Well, okay, so DMZ with the $2 super chat. Neo, which one looks more promising, Superman or Fantastic Four? I'm definitely going to say Superman because it's James Gunn, and James Gunn has not disappointed yet. James Gunn has always delivered. So that right there got me excited. But I'm very interested in Fantastic Four because if there's one movie Marvel cannot fuck up, it's going to be that one. Because if you fuck up something that's been fucked up twice already, you've lost the plot, bro. You have seen it fail twice. And you fuck it up the third time, like, damn, they fucked up his sandwich 3 times? But no. I like a lot about Fantastic Four. I like the cast. I'm still a little shaky on Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. But if he just pulls off, like, that charismatic, smug asshole, like, if he's Tony Stark, but without the likability angle, I think they will nail it. Because Reed Richards is an asshole. If Tony Stark is like that smug, smarmy, overconfident asshole, but you like him, Reed Richards is that smug, smarmy, overconfident asshole who you're just like, ugh, I don't like this guy, but he's smart as shit. But I like the aesthetic. I like how it's a futuristic retro movie. I think that's much needed. And it looks like they actually shot this movie on real sets, man. It don't look like they shot this shit in a nigga's basement. That's another thing about Captain America: Brave New World. Oh, why is this? All right, no, we're gonna get off this topic. Julian Phoenix with the $2 super chat. Cap 4 felt like a TV show. It felt like a TV movie. When I had some dude come in here and say like, "Yo, man, it just didn't feel like a big budget Marvel movie. It felt more like a TV movie, but I liked it." I'm like, "What are we doing? We lost the plot, bro." Okay. Anyways, that's it on Captain America. Nostalgia Trip with the $5 super chat. If Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was so good, why didn't anyone buy it when it was $5? $5 to Neo now is more value than what that game did to the Arkham universe. Ooh, he is spitting right now. Don Otaku, do you care to respond? Why wouldn't people buy Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League if it was $5? Why wouldn't people play it on PS Plus when it was given away for bunny ears quotation free? Answer that question, bro. Answer that question, Don. Streets are waiting. Streets are waiting. Oh god, guys, I'm trying to find the rest of the super chats, but when I refresh the page, I can't see. Ugh! Oh shit, I'm so sorry, you guys. Damn it. I'm so sorry, guys. If you donate on the super chats, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. When everything refreshed, everything went away. Oh. Long live Kevin Samuels with a $2 super chat. What are your Avowed impressions? It's mid to me. Okay, so I'll speak on Avowed because I put a few hours into it. Avowed, for those who are unfamiliar, it's the latest game from Obsidian. These are the guys that gave us Fallout New Vegas, Pentiment, Grounded, The Outer Worlds, and Avowed has been like their next big project. It's been in development for a while. It was announced a couple of years ago. I think like what, 2020? So we've been waiting for a hot minute. And it just, so Avowed, it's interesting. I can definitely see why it's a mixed bag for a lot of people. So for me, the low points of Avowed have to do with the story and me not really getting invested in what the characters are doing. That's something where when I'm playing the game, story is usually what keeps me engaged in these long ass RPGs. Because if I'm playing a game like a Devil May Cry, for example, Devil May Cry doesn't have a crazy fucking story. Resident Evil doesn't have a crazy fucking story, but the gameplay is so good, and the games are only like 8 to 10 hours anyway. So it's like, I'll excuse an okay story. Avowed, on the other hand, it's not to say the story isn't great. There's nothing compelling about it. It just doesn't draw me in that much. And I guess that's a thing with recent Obsidian games, because I felt the same way about The Outer Worlds. And even though I enjoyed The Outer Worlds, a lot of people were saying, well, that's just Obsidian's thing. They're not really known for their great stories per se, unless it's something like a Pentiment. But, you know, it's all about like the lore and the dialogue and just the worlds and all that stuff. So for me, the story of Avowed is not that engaging whatsoever. Like I said, it's well put together. Like great writing, great dialogue. Your encounters with the NPCs in the world, like Black Bond over here. What's up, Bond? That man played Avowed before getting legendary. I said I'm gonna play the remake this year, Bond. Settle down, bro. You see? Oh, shout out to you, Bond. Like I'm playing through it. I like the lore and the world building. That stuff is awesome. Like every conversation you have with a person, and then the cool thing about it is because, you know, Obsidian's in their lore bag. Every single time you have a conversation with someone, it does this really cool feature that I remember playing. I forgot what JRPG it was in like the early 2000s, but there's like this lore Bible that you can access at any time, where if there's like a certain unique word, you can highlight that, and then it shows you an explanation of all those things. So you're never in the law, you're never lost. So I think that's really cool. The companions are all cool. I like Kai. Kai is really great. I'm seeing some Kai slander online from my boy Steel Rain. That should make no sense whatsoever. Kai is awesome. He's voiced by the same guy who did Garrus in Mass Effect. So to me, this is the closest thing I have to a new Mass Effect game. Isn't that sad? Isn't that very sad? Imagine if Obsidian did a Mass Effect game. That would have been something. And it would be hilarious because Obsidian did a sequel to a BioWare game with KOTOR. And they would do the same thing for Mass Effect. We might get a good Mass Effect out of that. Yeah, no. So, like, I like the side characters. I like exploring the worlds of Avowed. I really think them making it more of like a hub world role-playing game rather than an open world title was the best approach, because, man, they layer the fuck out of this world. It's a very dense world, and it never feels as if, like, I'm just exploring something for the sake of. Like, there's always something there that's rewarding. I've seen some complaints from people saying, well, you can't explore everywhere. You can't, like, steal from people. You know, there's the stealth system is, like, non-existent, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people are wanting this to be the next Skyrim, which I don't know. Like, I've seen certain people in the community say that Avowed is going to be the Skyrim killer. I think that's very disingenuous based off everything they've told us. And all things considered, like, the game itself, playing it is very fun. Like, the combat is something I thought Avowed would be very, you know, a little wonky on, because a lot of these Western, let's be honest, a lot of these Western RPGs, they don't have the greatest combat systems. Like Witcher 3, I love Witcher 3, but that combat system could use some work. Avowed's combat is fucking great. Like, dude, just the ability to have, like, these two different builds at the same time, and you can swap between them with pressing one button. That is awesome, man. So you have your two companions with you. You go into the world, you fight these enemies. By the way, play Avowed on the hard difficulty for your first playthrough, because that's where you're actually going to get a challenge. You can't just, like, blindly rush in and just spam shit. You actually have to think about stuff, which is how shit should have been in a lot of these games. But, you know, it's for the kids' moves of the world. Shout out to Smooth, that's my boy. But it's so you have these different builds, right? And you never feel as if, like, you're penalized for, oh, let's say, for example, you spec your build to be a spellcaster, but then you really like being, you know, like a brute. You can always go and respec your character, but you can always play the game with both those play styles. So, case in point, let's say if I am a spellcaster and I'm casting all these spells and I love it, but enemies are getting way too close to me and my companions ain't doing shit, I can quickly switch over to doing something else. Like, I'll have, like, a two-handed weapon and I'll beat the shit out of somebody and then go back to spellcasting, doing all that stuff. Avowed is a very fun combat game to play. It is dope, and that's what's keeping me invested in it, because every single time you continue to level up your character and you get further into it, it becomes more of a fun game to play. But yeah, I would definitely say that if you're going into this expecting, like, a great story across the board, then it's not, you know, it's not going to impress you. But I don't think it's like this disaster, this dumpster fire game that a lot of people are thinking. But I will say, if I had to compare the games, I think Outer Worlds 2 will probably be the better Obsidian game that releases this year. But Avowed is cool, man. So you can switch styles like a Yakuza game. Yeah. Oh shit, dude. I never looked at it like that. Holy shit. It's a fun Yakuza game made from a Western studio. Holy fuck. Yeah, that's what it is. That's basically what it is. It's like you switching the styles on the fly. But what's up, gaming addicts? We got him in the chat. What's up, my G? Are you about to dread up your hair, Neo? No, this is just, my hair is looking kind of crazy right now. I just put some gel in it. I used the sponge brush and I just, you know, did a little something. But every time I think about dreading my hair, I cut it low. I'm actually due for a haircut. I haven't gotten a haircut in a few weeks, as I'm sure you guys can tell. I missed your super chat, Pooh Bear. Shit, I'm so sorry, bro. When I refresh this page, it's just not coming up. I'm trying to scroll and it's not, bro. I'm so sorry, Pooh Bear. Sorry, brother. Okay, so Pooh Bear says, what are your thoughts on Lost Soul Aside? Do you think it's what Final Fantasy 15 should have been? So you know what's so funny? I played that game at PlayStation Experience back in 2017. I think that was back when it was only made like by one person. And it was just the combat section. It wasn't anything like exploring the world or whatever. But I think Lost Soul Aside looks pretty cool. It being what Final Fantasy 15 should have been, I don't really know, because Final Fantasy 15 was going to be a lot of things. You guys remember like the Versus era, and that game that we were going to get back then versus what we got, completely different. But I don't want to put those expectations on Lost Soul Aside. I think if anything, Nomura is trying his best to remake Versus 13 in Kingdom Hearts. And gosh darn it, he's going to go. He's going to get his way. He will get that story told. But I wish that we got a proper remake for Final Fantasy Versus 13. A game that we never actually got, you know? Have you ever played Last Remnant, Resonance of Fate, and Infinite Undiscovery? I've dabbled in all of them. The one I got the furthest in completion was Last Remnant. That one. Last Remnant, Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey is my fucking baby. Love that game. And if you guys have an Xbox, you should play Lost Odyssey. It's backwards compatible. It runs in 4K. It's a great game, dude. That was back in the era when Xbox was in their JRPG bag and they were just cutting deals to get all these exclusives. They had what? Oh, do you guys remember Enchanted Arms? Oh, man, I remember that shit. They had Enchanted Arms. They had Blue Dragon. They had Lost Odyssey. They had all of these fucking, like, random JRPGs. It was crazy, dude. Oh, man. Let me see. Hold on. I'm checking. Oh, Jason says check your text. You sent something, Jason? Oh, fuck you, Jason. Fuck out of here, Jason. Fuck you, bro. Oh. Yeah, Addict, you know this, man. Xbox is seriously good when it comes to backwards compatibility. That's part of the reason why, man, I just wish they continued that shit. I want backwards compatibility for shit that don't even make sense. I want backwards compatibility for Naruto, The Broken Bond. That's never gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, man. It is not gonna happen. Makes no sense. They would put that shit up on the store to sell 3 whole units. But damn it, I would buy it. I don't care. Go get the rights. Ubisoft, get the rights. Make that shit backwards compatible. Streets need that shit. Yeah, man. Xbox, if they kept that same energy from the first half of the 360's life cycle into the second half, it would be a different conversation, bro. But what's up, everyone in the chat? Everyone who's been joining, everyone who's been here from the beginning. Appreciate you guys for pulling up. Someone says Avowed is a fun 7 out of 10 game like Stellar Blade, but you get it via your subscription, so it feels like an 8 out of 10. I would definitely say Avowed for me is like a solid 7.5 out of 10. You know, it's a good game. Like, Avowed would be a game that I played it on the PS2. I'd be like, that's a good game, man. I mean, there's not anything inherently bad with Avowed either. It's a very well put together, well polished game. Yo, Broken Bond. Dude, there was a bunch of... Y'all remember the beef back in the day between Naruto, The Broken Bond, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm? You had all the PS3 fanboys saying shit like Storm is better because it looks just like the anime. And yeah, the Storm games look incredible, but man, that first Storm game was boneless as fuck, bro. You couldn't even play online with people. You know, the story didn't go that far. The storytelling wasn't that great outside the cutscenes. But then you had The Broken Bond and Rise of the Ninja. You had an open world to explore. You had these activities. And then The Broken Bond got that fucking sequel glow up, dude. They had that sequel glow up, man. Like, listen. Streets will put some respect on Broken Bond. If Broken Bond was back, look, put Broken Bond on backwards compatibility and watch niggas change their tune. Watch them change their tune. I'm saying, man. Yo, Godzilla Tommy, you remember those days. That's how we met. Me and Godzilla Tommy, yo. We go back like 2008, dude. Holy fuck. I've known this dude for 17 years. Jesus. Holy fuck. I remember I found your video. I think we were talking about like some Naruto games on the Wii, like import stuff. Dude, if we got a Naruto RPG, dude, that's what I'm saying. These companies need to take more risks with these anime games, bro. Like, we got fighters, and that's awesome. But we need different shit. We need different shit. That was one of my first games for the 360. Gabe, that Rise of Ninja was one of my first games too. You know what the crazy thing about that shit is, bro? You know, it's so crazy because what you guys don't know about Shut Up Gabe is that he grew up in what is called a Microsoft household. So his mom was, you want to talk about Xbots? His mom was the original Xbot. She was like Omega Bot. She was like, we only gonna be buying American products in this house. American TVs. We're gonna buy American cars. We're gonna buy American-made game consoles. So she bought that, and then she saw this game that Gabe wanted called Naruto, and she's like, ooh, Naruto, that seems like some weird Japanese shit. What is this? He's like, no, look at this guy. But because Naruto had blonde hair, blue eyes, she was like, oh, it's okay, he's German. And he was like, yeah, that's right. It was crazy. It was crazy times, man. That boy Gabe, living in a Microsoft household. Fucking crazy. You guys want to talk about fanboy shit now. Imagine your parent being a fanboy. That was crazy. Yeah, see, I like all this stuff about Rise of the Ninja Broken Bomb. People, I will say the weirdest shit about Rise of the Ninja is that they didn't get all the voice actors back from the show. So they had some random French people come in and voice the characters. It was jarring beyond belief. It was so weird, bro. Like, who are these people? You have Naruto and then you have a bunch of other French niggas, bro. This shit was weird. How do you feel about the new Shenmue game coming in August? There's a new Shenmue game? That's news to me. I thought Shenmue was dead after part 3. There's a new Shenmue game? Is it actually a Shenmue game, or is it like some mobile shit or some weird online game? Neo's version of the story is way more funnier and unhinged. Nah, that's, you say it's my version of the story. That's actually what happened, but you guys won't hear the full story because, you know, it's Gabe would never tell the story like that, but, you know, I got to tell it for him. You know how they say, like, someone is the brakes and someone is like your voice of reason? I'm like that, but not the brakes. That Shenmue game in the PlayStation Direct. See, I've already forgotten about that PlayStation Direct, bro. I love how we're calling it the PlayStation Direct. Nah, y'all gotta run back. Y'all gotta run that game back and listen to those voices. They were horrifying. Oh yeah, yo, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is cool. I played it for like a solid like 2 hours or so. I like it, man. I like it. This franchise does not miss, bro. Like I love how RGG Studios made a Pirate Yakuza game because they were bored. And it's a better game than Skull and Bones. That's crazy. The first quadruple A game in development. Fucking insane. Nah, I think that Onimusha game is going to be solid. Capcom has yet to disappoint, man. They gave us... We got Dragon's Dogma. We had a Devil May Cry game a few years ago. The only franchise we're really missing... Well, we're missing 2. Mega Man needs a new game. And that franchise that starts with a D that I'm just not going to bring up because I don't want to bring it up. Every time I think we're going to get something, we don't. But you know what? It's okay. Sometimes life is about acceptance, you guys. Just have to accept it. Just got to accept it. And when in doubt, just blame Flame because it's all his fault. It's all Flame's fault anyway. You're a Yakuza virgin? Oh, start playing Yakuza 0, Gabe. Please, please play Yakuza 0, bro. I would say you could jump into like the JRPG ones. Yakuza Like a Dragon. You can play that too, but just, dude, play Yakuza 0 so you can understand like why this shit is sick, bro. Yakuza 0. That game is like $5, bro. It's been $5 for almost 10 years. It is so good, guys. Favorite Yakuza character? I mean, Kiryu is an obvious one, but Majima. Specifically, I loved Majima in Yakuza 0. I love his whole arc in that. Because it was like, I remember, like, because, you know, you play that game after seeing who Majima is, and you're like, oh, this is how he used to be. Oh, wow. And then, oh. Everyone just has that oh part when it's like, oh, that's how he got to this point. Yeah, it's available on Game Pass, man. Ichiban is awesome. Ichiban's like a top 3. Dude, that story, again, I'm not going to spoil shit because Gabe hasn't played it, but dude, that game almost had me in tears. I hate Game Pass mainly because I'm on my PC and the performance makes me so mad. Oh yeah, the Xbox app is not great on PC. But I mean, for games like Yakuza, you don't really got to worry about that. What were you about to say? Flame, what were you about to type? Guys, hold on. Everybody look at Flame's comment right now. What were you about to type, Flame? Go ahead. What are you about to say, bro? What are you about to say? Everybody drop the eye emojis in the chat. What are you about to say, Flame? What do you mean by that, bro? What do you mean by that, bro? What do you mean by that? It's very interesting of you, Flame. Are we about to have a Flame is over party? Is that how we are going to christen this first stream of 2025? A Flame is over party? Godzilla Tommy, excuse me? He was about to say nincompoop, I'm sure. Oh no, Pie Studios. Don't give him an out. Don't give him an out, Pie Studios. Say it with your chest. Little ass. What's the N? Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. When I say interesting, this is what I mean. Flame is about to have his Kanye moment on Twitter. Yo, that whole Kanye trip. Oh my God. That whole Kanye trip was crazy, bro. Dude, you guys, you had to be there in real time to see all that stuff go down. It was, unhinged is not even the word. I've never seen anything like that shit happen, but bro, I was one part sad seeing that shit happen because I'm like, damn, Kanye, really? But then I was also like, yo, what the fuck? Because he said some funny ass shit, bro. I'm not going bro. He said some funny ass fucking shit. I gotta see if I still have some of the screenshots, bro. Those screenshots have me in tears, man. Because he took down all the tweets. Yo, he said, oh my God. He went off the rails. Like I said, he went off the rails. We are not excusing what he said. But then he says some funny ass shit, bro, that I'm like, oh my God. Oh God. Like, some of these are just so fucking crazy, bro. Bro, he said this shit was, I was like, this is one of the first tweets I saw. He said, fat bitches are sex offenders. I see them and I'm sexually offended. Now you see that right there, I'm not going front. That's kind of a bar, bro. That's kind of a bar, man. That's a Kanye bar. He says making lingerie for fat bitches is like giving knives to little kids. They gonna hurt somebody. Oh my God. If you find yourself in a fat bitch pussy, just remember it's because you're broke. Oh my God. Bro. Oh my God. Like, that's part of the reason why I can never delete Twitter, bro. Because every now and then a nigga just says something that's so fucking like... unfortunately, it's a bar. Unfortunately, it is a bar, my friends. It is a bar. Everything else was crazy, though. Everything else is crazy. He said, good morning, retards. Oh, my God. Yo, he said, what did he say? He said he brought back retard. He says, you're welcome. I said, some of the shit I be seeing, I'm like, this nigga is just so... wrong, but I can't stop laughing, bro. But he definitely needs help. He definitely needs help. Oh, every now and then he comes back and just, I can't stop fucking laughing, man. He unfortunately, he a funny dude, bro. All right, $2 super chat coming in from Leon Mikas. Have you ever had an N64? Yes. My first game console was a Super Nintendo, but N64 was like the first console I really played a lot of games on. That's where I'm like cognizant, you know, like I still remember my dad coming home with an N64 and Super Mario 64, and then Ocarina of Time when that came out. Those like my two first games on N64. And then we got things like Donkey Kong 64, Smash Bros. We rented from Blockbuster. That was so funny. We rented Smash Bros on a whim. We were like, what is this? And it was history from there, man. N64 was such an interesting console because the N64 and PS1, you felt that transition to 3D, especially more so with that N64 because, man, some of those games. But, dude, the games are fun. I will say, if I'm looking back on it, what would you guys say? I mean, obviously the Wii U we take out of the equation. What would you say is like your least favorite Nintendo console? Not that it's bad, But if you had to get rid of one, like one gotta go, what Nintendo console are you getting rid of? I know a lot of people are gonna say the Wii. I can see that. But if one gotta go, Nintendo consoles, not counting the Wii U. Wii U is an easy one. One gotta go. I just said no Wii U. And yeah, you're like, yeah, no Wii U. $2 super chat from Flame. You nice person. I'll take the blame. Sure. Okay, Flame. We'll see. Neo, headphones or earbuds for the gym? It depends. I used to be a headphone wearing guy. Like I had Beats and a bunch of other stuff. But now I'm just earbuds. Like I've been rocking my Power Beats for... Ooh. I've been wearing Power Beats for, I want to say, like a solid 4 years now. And I've just changed them every single time they stop working. So I've had Power Beats for a while. Yeah. Out of all the headphones I've had, Power Beats have been the most consistent for me. You know, they're very durable. Sound quality is good. And they work with all like the Siri voice commands and everything. So I like them. I love the Power Beats. I know I see some people in the gym wearing the AirPod Maxes. I'm like, what are y'all doing, bro? But yeah, a lot of people in the gym, they wear like AirPods. They'll wear like Skull Candies. I love the Power Beats. Virtual. Oh, I made that easy on myself. I should have said you can't say Virtual Boy. You would get rid of the DS? Nah, that's crazy, bro. Wait. Whose latest tweet? Kanye's latest tweet or Flame's latest tweet? I don't know. It's hard to tell. They're so similar these days. I thought Kanye is not on Twitter anymore. Kanye's still on Twitter? What did he say? All right, let's look up Kanye's. I can't find Kanye's Twitter. Where the fuck? I can't find Kanye West on Twitter. Hold on, here it is. Oh, okay, I found it. Here it is. Kanye's latest tweet. Oh, God. Yeah, that's a Kanye tweet. For all you jewelers, I'm looking for swastika chain designs. Please submit them to swastika. Oh, my God. Yeah, Kanye's back on that shit again. Yeah. Oh, God, bro. Oh God, yeah. So we're back on yeah, it's that Kanye shit. Are you gonna play Metal Gear Solid Delta? Well, you know what the funny thing is? I do have the Master Collection Volume 1. I do have that. So I think I'm gonna run through all the Metal Gear games properly before I buy Delta. Flame says, "See, I'm not that bad," and he's comparing himself to Kanye West. Holy shit, Flame! I don't think that's the hill you want to die on, my brother. I do not think this is the hill you want to die on. Yo. Neo, what did you think of the Shrek 5 teaser? I don't know. Like, it didn't do anything for me. Like, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's definitely a Shrek movie. But will it have the same sauce as the first two? Because to me, the Shrek franchise is just Shrek 1 and 2. Shrek 3 was Shrek 4, I didn't really care much for. The Puss in Boots Last Wish movie was great. So if they have like that level of love for Shrek, I think it'll be cool. But I really hope they don't tone down or they go for like the easy. I want it to be like a funny Shrek movie with so much innuendo that you miss the first time. And then you go back, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it just to be like another by the numbers animated Shrek movie. Like, I want it more in the style of 1 and 2. Oh, you're hype about that nostalgia trip. Get a new Metal Gear game on your birthday. I just went to a place called College Dropout Burgers today, a place named after the Kanye album. Yo, could you imagine working at that place with all the Kanye stuff happening? Yo, holy shit. But he made graduation though. I'm looking forward to the new Devil May Cry anime. Hey, what's up, D-Man? How you doing, bro? Yeah, we still out here, you know. We still out here. Like I said, y'all can't get rid of me. Y'all never get rid of me. We always coming out here. Lady Gaga or Miley Cyrus? Oh, definitely Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's awesome. Yeah, we talked about Daima for a little bit, Kareem. I'm not really that invested in Daima. It just didn't pull my attention. I think Super Saiyan 4 is cool. It's canon, but I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. College dropout burgers. How was the food there? Was it good, or is it just all novelty? Is that really where niggas go? Maybe that's where niggas were instead of Paris. Oh. Could be that, man. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you would say get rid of the DS because that time I would have a PSP library in the DS. Would I choose the PSP or the DS's library? I don't know, man. Like PSP has some good games, but ain't none of them really on the level of some of those Dragon Quest. Like the DS has Dragon Quest. It has a Golden Sun game. Like DS has got some good shit, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can't. Yeah, but it's still like the rest of the DS library is so good that I'll take like an okay Golden Sun game, you know? Dragon Quest 9 was awesome. Like, I don't think there's a PSP game that comes close to Dragon Quest 9. Like, PSP's got some good games. It's got Peace Walker, you know? It's got that. It's got the Monster Hunter games. It's got Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. It's got Crisis Core. You know, you can watch critically acclaimed movies like Adam Sandler's Click on the PSP. Can you do this on the DS? I don't think so. But you can watch Click on the PSP. Do I even have the UMD in here? No, I don't. Damn it. Oh, my evening plans are ruined, guys. 279 super chat from Leon. Is Boruto still trash? I don't know. I haven't kept up with Boruto in a very long time. Do people watch Boruto or read it? I don't know. All I remember is when Kishimoto came on board. Niggas was liking Boruto again. I don't know, man. I don't know. You got to buy the internet browser for the DS. Yeah. Whereas on the PSP, we was on that bitch. We was downloading themes. We was jailbreaking that shit. We were doing a lot of stuff on the PSP. Oh, yeah. Yo, yeah, listen, the PSP has some good games. Don't get it twisted, bro. But the DS's library, especially for JRPGs, that shit was fire. I will say the PSP had more variety because you would get a lot of action games that you couldn't get on the DS. Like, just compare Birth by Sleep to 358 by 2 days. Someone says, why do you have UMD movies within reach? B-Rex says, why don't you have UMD movies within reach? True. No, because up here is like my little, it's not my whole collection, but it's a couple of DS games and some PSP stuff that I had. I just leave it there. But you know what? I'm going to start putting this shit on display. I'm going to just put like a random UMD movie every time. Like, because I pull up to another video and I have like Click right here. I just leave Click and I don't fucking explain it. Like, everyone's just like, is that Click? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know, man. I should do that. You know what I was doing on that PSP? Oh, God, you nasty heathen. Oh, my God. That man was looking up hentai on a PSP? Hey, what's up, Retro Lad? How you doing, Chris? That man was looking at hentai on a PSP, you guys. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. SOCOM was fire. Fire Team Bravo. We all did that. Who is this we? Who is this we, guys? This is a Christian YouTube channel? Guys, listen, I've never even held a girl's hand before. You had a Vanessa Hudgens wallpaper? Oh, you sick. PSP is still great. Yeah, PSP is still good. I mean, I have a battery over there. It's almost about to explode, but hey, listen, it's good. People are like, get that thing out of your house. No, it needs to stay there. Because when it's my time to go, it'll be my time to go. New Minecraft movie trailer dropped today. Is anybody excited? Is anybody excited for Minecraft movie? That God of War PSP. Oh, is that the red one? Oh, is that the red one? Oh, that's nice. I didn't have any special edition PSPs. I had the original fat model. And then my brother broke it. So then my dad bought me a PSP 2000, the Slim and Light. That's beautiful. That's a sexy machine, man. Oh, of course you're excited for the Minecraft movie. I heard you got tickets for the Minecraft movie and you bought it opening weekend. Street said you also showed up for the Borderlands movie. You were the only person who watched it. Ooh, Red and Black, that's hype. I know Jack Black is excited for that Minecraft movie. Oh, God, I forgot he's in that. Chris, would you be interested in a podcast and interview with my friend Joe in the future? Sure, man, I'm down to be on an episode. It just depends on the timing, you know, if we can get the time zones right and everything. What were you really doing on the PSP? Playing video games, sir. And, oh, you know what I was doing on the PSP more? I'm a lie. If I wasn't playing games on the PSP, I was watching Naruto Shippuden episodes. You want to know what I did? Guys, this is what we had to do back in the day, okay? Let me put it to y'all like this, right? So, y'all remember there was like that gap of about 2 or so years where Shippuden was airing in Japan, but we didn't have it over here. So what I did was I would go and download Naruto Shippuden episodes when they were airing, and I would download them and convert them and put them on my PSP. That's how I was watching all of Naruto, man. I would watch the episodes, I would download them, I keep them on my PSP, and I would just rewatch them on my PSP. That's what we did back in the day, bro. My beard is starting to itch me, bro. Like one of the hairs is starting to... Jesus. I got a haircut tomorrow. Could you get YouTube on the PSP? If you jailbroke your PSP, I know you could watch YouTube videos. 279 from Leon. MCU is trash now. I wouldn't say it's trash, but it's definitely not firing on all cylinders. Like, we'll get a good project every now and then, but it does not have the accuracy as it did before. The accuracy right now is definitely like in the 60s, which is not good. Dude, yeah, back in the day, bro, like, we was really in the trenches watching anime. Either you were buying Chinatown bootlegs or you were looking for some sites online. You would just download that shit to your PSP, bro. Oh, yo, who used to watch anime on the PS3? Y'all remember how you used to hit those sites on the PS3 web browser? You could just watch anime there? Bro, we was really... If there was a will, there was a way, dude. Oh my God, man. That brings me back, bro. That PS3? That PS3, bro. Nah, this is before Crunchyroll. This is before Crunchyroll, Arm Boy. This is like, you go to the sites, and then you just watch it, and you could download the episodes if you wanted to. That shit. Oh, God, Hulu. Oh, my God, Hulu was free. What the fuck? Yo, we really had it all, guys. We really had it all back in the day. Holy shit. Damn, son. Now, you know how ghetto shit is now, guys? Fucking Hulu talking about raising their prices again and saying that if you cancel, you still got to pay the next month or some asinine thing or whatever. Dude, we had custom themes. Y'all remember back on my YouTube videos? Every time I pulled up, I had a different theme on my PS3 and it was like a backdrop. Oh! We was really about that shit, bro. Kids these days, they don't know, man. Neo was about to cancel me. My MCU was always trash. I loved Infinity War because it let Thanos beat up every character I hated. That's certainly a take, Flame. But you want to know why the MCU was trash? I'll tell you why. Because Flame was an Xbox fan during the mid-2010s. And that's when the MCU was heat, bro. And then they announced that there's a Spider-Man game exclusive to PlayStation. So when Flame saw that Spider-Man was going to be Infinity War and Thanos would rock his shit, Flame's like, yeah. Flame, jealousy is a very, very toxic trait, my friend. It's crazy, man. Flame was just like, you can't say that. You can't say that. That's not what I meant. I was like, well, what was it, Flame? I actually got a PS3 a couple months ago off eBay. I got an overclocked firmware on it. It runs great in some of those styles that don't run amazing. That's awesome. Dude, I really want to buy a new PS3 because I tried hooking mine up a few years ago. Because I want to run through just some, just old shit. And my PS3 is not working, bro. I don't know if it's the hard drive or what. But I might just buy one on eBay, dude. I was going to go off Facebook Marketplace and do that, too. Because that's a local. But I might just buy that shit on eBay. How much did that PS3 cost you on eBay? I don't really want to spend... So I can get, like, a PS3 Slim for, like, $120. It's like 100, like around $100. Like 100. Damn. I remember when PS3s, like the fat joints, replaced with an SSD. That's what I did. I could. Damn, I need to get new controllers too, because I don't know where my PS3 controllers are. I know you can buy those converters. You can get those converters and use a DualSense on it, but I just want to use the original controllers, man. Those original God, those triggers. Yeah, I might fuck around and get this and yeah, you know, like it's not that new games aren't hitting it, it's just like there's some shit that I can only play on PS3, man. You know, like I know they're rumored, but playing like the God of War collection, the Origins collection, these two games, prequels, playing that shit on PS3. What y'all know about this? This is a deep cut PS3 game. If y'all fucked with this game, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. What else? Like, oh, wow. I was wondering where this was. My freaking Gladiator 4K. I was like, where did that thing go? Jesus. Like the Sly collection. Yeah, you can play them on PS5, but they don't run as good. But the Sly collection. I'm a big fan of these collections. The Ratchet and Clank collection. Yeah, just a bunch of fucking PS3 games I have here, dude. 279 super chat from Leon. Would Baby Neo be disappointed to play Kingdom Hearts 3? Nah, Baby Neo would be so gassed if he could play Kingdom Hearts 3. Remember when I thought Kingdom Hearts 3 would come out in 2011 or 2012? Y'all remember that shit? I was thinking to myself, yo, Birth by Sleep came out. It's coming out this time. Kingdom Hearts might be like 2 years later. Psych. Psych. Add another 7 years. Do you have Ridge Racer 7? No, I don't. What's up, Wesley? Carpal tunnel in 20 minutes, bro? No, thanks. That's playing on a freaking DualShock 3. Oh, my God. Holy shit, you guys. I just looked at the clock, and it is 10:30. We've been streaming for 3 hours. It does not feel like we've been streaming for 3 hours, dude. Holy shit. But yes, that is what it is. Holy crap. So I think this is a good time for us to wrap up tonight's comeback stream, you guys. Someone hide that clock. Don't you leave. No. Listen, 3 hours. A very good 3 hours for this comeback stream is great. So that Captain America rant made it seem shorter. Yeah, it did. But you know, this is good. This is great, you guys. A fantastic comeback stream. So awesome. Just chilling, hang with y'all, chopping it up. 3 hours is a long one, but fun. Yeah, we've had like 5.5 hour streams before. That's usually when there's like liquor involved, but we're not gonna drink tonight. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be good creatures. I'm gonna go get myself some food and then just wind down for the night. Probably play more Yakuza. Nah, you're making the Final Fantasy 6 grind easier. Listen, I'm doing all these things for you guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all so much. But you know, like we gotta reconvene at another day. But it's okay. It's all good because we back. He's like, liquor? No, alcoholics. Stop coming out of the chat. Stop it. We're not doing this. Maybe next time. Oh my God, my Kingdom Hearts shot glass is right there. That's crazy. It literally is right here. This has not left our last stream. That's funny to me. Like I remember I washed it and I put it back on my desk and it's just been there. It's calling out to me. It's calling out to me like fucking Green Goblin. Neo stream eating the Don Julio Popeyes meal when? The what? That sounds like death, bro. You're making my compliance training videos viewing faster. Listen, I'm doing all these good things for you guys. I love that. McDonald's, they have Krispy Kreme at McDonald's? What the fuck? So moonshine it is. David, sit down. Ooh, Popeyes has a buy one, get one free spicy chicken sandwich. That's tempting. That is tempting, but I'm not drunk enough to make some Popeye orders. Oh God. There's really nothing that has really been getting my attention on what's it called? On Uber Eats recently. Shit's been trash, man. Definitely trash. They don't throw out the great promos that they used to. But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up for tonight, and we're gonna go about our separate ways until our next stream. So I want to thank you guys for coming through. A lot of you guys have been here for the entirety of the 3 hours. This is crazy. I fucking love y'all so much. You guys enjoy the rest of your mornings, your evenings, your afternoons, whether you're watching this live or on the playback. I appreciate y'all so much. We will be back sometime next week. I don't have the exact date set as of yet, just because my work schedule has been crazy recently. So there's like some days where I'm usually working on my days off, and then other days where I'm not, and then they switch it out. So it's been a little all over the place, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Gotta do what you gotta do. We will be back hopefully sometime next week for some debauchery, some good debauchery, and hopefully no more studio closures and games canceled. God forbid, but we'll see. Everything is always surprising in the realm of the gaming industry. So normally for these streams, I do like to have myself a hydration check, but I don't have any water right now. I finished all the water for the stream, so we're gonna have to take a rain check on that. And don't you dare say, well, take vodka. I'm like, no, we're not fucking doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. See you in 3 months. Nah, it'll be like 2 months, 3 weeks, 6 days. You know, like we all right. We're gonna watch some content on your PSP. Yes, I'm gonna boot up my favorite UMD videos and sit in bed and watch it on this tiny screen. Rain check on the water check. That's a bar. That's a bar right there. Liquor? No, relax. Sit down. All y'all sit down. Y'all sit down. You got to be as wholesome as this boy right here. See that boy? See how wholesome he looks? Look at him. He would never consume alcohol. He would never. Even though, technically speaking, aren't like the potions and high potions elixirs, and that could be considered alcohol. But yeah, look at this. Look at this very nice boy. Look at him. Anyway, sit down, drank, stand up, drank. Straight up. Pour up, drank. Yeah, watch on that tiny blurry, let your mind fill in the rest. That's how we used to get shit done, bro. Anyways. Alright, you guys. For me to you for now, my name is NGS, signing out. And like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.